Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you, guys. So, I have this important topic to talk about today. Pete Edochie welcomes a grandson, Star Edochie, and I'll be talking about Senator Ike Ekweremadu that was arrested in UK and detained by the Metro Police over alleged organ harvest. So I'll be talking about these two topics today. Please join me if you're a content creator. Please share this live so that we can get started. I'm trying to share it as well. So guys, let's get into it. Share this live. Let's welcome more people in the stream so we can get started. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to thumbs up the video as well as you come in. I do appreciate. So these are what I'll be discussing today. Pete Edochie welcomes a grandson. That's Yul Edochie's son from the second wife, and Senator Ekweremadu as well. The allegation on him, that's a very huge one. And for the fact that it happened in UK, the guy is in serious trouble. So they should be able to know how to come out of this. And that's what I'll be discussing today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So I'll be starting gradually, and I'll be starting with Yul Edochie. He's been in the news for over 2 months now about his second wife story and saga. A lot of people made a lot of videos about them, a lot of content about them. A lot of people said a lot of things. Internet has been buzzing. The moment internet, tries to settle down, Yul Edochie will come up again with another discussion so that he will continue to be, in the news. And that has been working for him because people are really angry, especially how the first wife got to know that Yul Edochie took a second wife. So all of this will be discussing. And hey, beautiful elbow bomb, elbow. I thought about you this morning when I woke up, and then for the fact that my husband asked me about you yesterday, I haven't heard from Priska. You guys okay? I said, so this man, they monitor our movements. So, so how you doing, sis? How you doing? I hope you're doing okay. I hope our babies are doing fine, and your hubby too. Um, I hope everyone doing okay though. I'm trying to do a thumbnail while I'm doing this for my video. That's basically what I'm talking about here. Um, Sorry about that. I'm typing something. All right. You're laughing. That was how I laughed too. I really laughed when he asked me, "Hi, is Priska? I haven't heard from two of you. Are you guys okay? Is she okay?" Is she okay? It says she's fine. She's fine. So, Mama, I was at your premiere yesterday, but you were nowhere to be found. The case could say and whatever you guys were talking about there. I was just listening. At the end of the day, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to write. So, um, and that's it. So I don't even understand what the video was all about. But I was there with Gloria, Deeds TV. I think that's her name. Okay, so um, all right. So thank you for. I just rewatch and replay of my video that premiered yesterday. I saw your support. Oh, the okay. I then took my phone to write you. Oh, my WhatsApp. Hey, WhatsApp has I uninstalled WhatsApp yesterday basically because there was this video I wanted to upload. It was telling me my storage was full on the phone. So what I did basically was to go get what is it called? To uninstall a lot of things from my phone. I'm looking for my charger. So when I did, and then WhatsApp, I've not installed. I'm beginning to install them back this morning, and that's what I don't know what is wrong with my phone. But anyway, we move. So today I'll be talking about Peter, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, was a deputy senator in Nigeria. Hi Ella, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate. He was a deputy senate president, a very high office, public office in Nigeria. And the story making the news was that he took a young boy to UK, and the young boy's passport. At Variety, hi sis, hi sis. I said I'm going to look for you on Instagram. You need to give me some of your secrets on how to do some of those things. I was on your live the other day and also on your premiere, and it was amazing. Thank you for all you do. So back to my topic. So this boy was taken to UK for them to, get a kidney from him because, as the story has it, that Enwere Mado's daughter is sick and they needs kidney. Thank you, Priska. A great farm freelance. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. Please, if we are not friends, let's become one today. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Priska. Thank you so much. So, the senator, according to story, because we did not hear from him yet, we haven't actually. So they took this boy to UK, and based on Channels News said the boy was taken for preliminaries in the hospital for a checkup before the kidney harvest, and it happens that the boy was not a match. So when they realized the boy was not a match, they now told the boy, anyway, since you're not a match, you have to go back to Nigeria. And the boy now said he's not going back to Nigeria and ran to the police and reported to the police that Senator Ekweremadu was using him for kidney organ harvest, and he's seeking asylum. Okay, so that's what Channels News. Okay, at Variety. Okay, your name is the same on Instagram. Okay, okay, I will look you up. I will look you up definitely. So that was what was reported by Channel News. Then another news on the internet said that a boy got to the hospital, for them to do the first check, vitals, to know if everything is okay with the guy before they even start any procedure. And the doctor asked the guy how old he was or how old he is. The boy said he's 15. And the doctor now called police because 15 is underage and all of that. It's a two-way traffic here. For some people, they will say, yeah, organ harvest and all of that. But it might look like that, but it might not be just, the way people interpret it. But the thing here, if I'm going by channels news reporting from London about this story, that the boy was not a match, and based on the fact that he was not a match, he was asked to go back home, and the boy refused, and they started threatening him, and that was where the boy reported to the police. I don't know, because I've not heard from the boy, neither did I hear from Ekweremadu, but these are all on the news on the internet, and channel news is a verified source that you can get information from. Then that brings me to helping your community and helping people. Okay, you said on the passport, I'm talking about Ekweremadu, the senator said on the passport that the boy was 20, the boy is 21, and the information saying the boy is 15, but the boy doesn't look 15 from his picture. So truth be told, I don't know who is saying the truth, but the fact is, if somebody is desperate, especially somebody that is not interested in returning to Nigeria, they can say all sorts to get asylum. And secondly, I don't want to believe that they did not do all the tests in Nigeria to know if this boy was a match before they got to UK. Nah. They would have done all the necessary match with Nigerian hospital before buying his ticket and before going to UK. So there are question marks here. And somebody will say, why use somebody's son for somebody's child for organ harvest? If you have been ill to that extent, you spread your tentacles from your immediate family, your siblings, to the extended, your cousins, to even anybody that could be of match with your sick child to help the child. And then again, we should understand that we all have two kidneys, and the one can live and survive with one. Yes, that is the fact. But another thing I have to say here, I believe where the senator has other children, right? They have other children that could as well donate, since they are the same siblings, so the match will be very easy. And for the US here, the procedure will be, if you need, you have to go and register and put your name on the list, so that if they have anything available, they will check where you are on the list, because this one is managed by the government and the hospitals. So they have lists of those, and they have people that donate freely, willingly. They just want to donate. You see some people on their driver's license, they will tick a mark that has organ donor clause there. They will just check the mark. In case if I happen to be in an accident, just know that yes, I support organ donor. You can use any organ in my, from me, any that can save anybody. That's how they do it in the US. So once you check that mark on your driver's license, and if that person happens to have an accident and die prematurely, they will just look at the license. The moment the accident people, the police and the accident or whatever forces, the moment they come around, they will check the person, the passenger. If the passenger is still alive, they will fly the person immediately to the hospital. But if the person cannot be saved anymore, the person is gone, they will check the license. If that clause on the license is checked, they will contact the family immediately and all of that. All the protocols, they will get into the protocols, and then the next thing they are going to harvest the kidney, the liver, the eyes, whatever, the heart, whatever it is that can be of help to humanity. People do that willingly. People do that to help human race. And also, whereby that one is the issue, they will ask you, do you have anybody in your family, your husband, your wife, your siblings, anybody of age that can help? And whereby there is no match in your family, which I believe is very rare, that will not be match, okay? And let's assume there is no match in your immediate family. They will ask you, do you have anybody that could help you? So my question here is, if the senator has other siblings, Is it that they did not try their siblings or his children to know if any of the kids will be a match with his daughter that is sick? Thank you, Sister Ifechi. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate. So all these points I'm making out here is what we cannot verify. So assuming Ekwerem decided to use one of his children to donate to their siblings, all these things wouldn't be happening. But most people would rather preserve their own children and look for another person's children to donate for them. That's just the truth. And if that happens to be the case with Senator Ike, that means he's in a very long huddle with the government. They have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that what the boy said against them is not true. Okay, and then the boy that is talking, if the boy was in an agreement with them to come to UK and do all of that, I said it, was it that they did not do all the necessary medical checkup before they even got the boy a ticket? And then how about the boy's parents? Are they not talking? In Africa, we have a very close-knit family in the sense that your mother, if your mother is not there, your father, if your father is not there, there is auntie somewhere, there is a grandma somewhere, there is a cousin somewhere. There is always somebody in someone's lineage, whether it's extended or close. So is it that nobody has verified who this boy is or traced the family? Where are the investigative reporters that we have in Nigeria? These are the kind of investigation they will be doing at this point to verify if the boy is saying the truth, because the boy is claiming to be 15, and that's why they call the police. So if they can be able to verify any of these, that the boy is actually 15, he was brought to UK against his will, which I know is not true. The boy was, they must have told the boy, this is what we are inviting you to UK for. If you're ready, then we can go ahead, process your passport and all of that. But like I said, if the boy is so desperate to leave Nigeria, that's an avenue for him to stay in UK. And because of what he's claiming, they can give him asylum almost immediately. Thank you all for joining me today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Sisifeti, thank you. So the thing is a two-way traffic here. The senator and his wife, they have things to like figure out. Likewise, the boy that is claiming asylum, that he's underage. At this point, they are going to be asking means of identification, how to verify the boy's age. But from the picture I saw, the boy is not 15. Okay, that's the thing I'm saying. But why? How come the boy's mother is not talking at this time? How come nobody from their family is not saying anything? Because the Senator Ike is on a very long thing. He really has a lot to say. Hi, Vicky. Hey. Welcome to my live stream this morning. Thank you for joining me. My topic today, I'll be discussing about Senator Ike, former Deputy Senate of Nigeria. And at the same time, I'll be talking about Pete Edochie welcomed his son. He welcomed his son home. Oh, rather, his grandson. Pardon me, guys. Pete Edochie welcomed his grandson home. And I want to talk about it as well today because a lot of people, they've been saying all sorts on social media, and likewise on YouTube, that Pete Edochie is a Viola Edochie. So today we'll be talking about all of that. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me, host and Vicky. Yes, they are on a long thing. I have 4 questions I tabled out here on that Senator Ike's situation. Okay, I believe that child of theirs is not the only child. They have other siblings. So is it that they don't have any child that is of age to donate a kidney to their sister? Or okay, if they don't have anybody from their immediate family, maybe Senator Ike cannot donate because of high BP, or maybe the wife cannot donate because of health issues. I can understand that. But what happened to their children? Because if they had taken another person's son to UK to do this, they would have also considered getting that donation from their own children. That would have been the first thing. Who in the family can help our sister? Who in the family can help our children, our child? That would have been the first thing. I don't know if they did all of that. I don't know if they have other grown kids that could have donated. If maybe let's assume that they don't have grown kids that are up to 18 that could donate, but they could have cousins. Okay, they could have extended cousins, maternal cousins, paternal cousins, someone from the family that could be of match. I don't know if they done everybody in their family. Nobody was a match, and that was why they decided to go with strangers. We all know the situation in Nigeria. We all know the hardship. We all know a lot of things. Um, Let me even read what Vicky's saying. Vicky said, Oyoyo, medically speaking, sometimes you will check the whole family and nobody will be compatible. You see, okay, maybe, yeah, maybe they've checked the whole family and nobody is a match with the guy, with their sick child. So they now went to a stranger, okay? The stranger is now claiming he's 15. That means he's a minor, so he cannot give consent to such a procedure. The thing is, how do they verify if this boy is saying the truth? Vicky is still right. Most times, family members will refuse to donate because nobody wants to go to under the knife. It's not. It's not just under the knife. See, they don't want to donate because they don't want to buy. We have to say it the way it is. That's the reason. If senator, if he has children that are over 15, that's my first question. Why didn't you use your kids first? Or maybe they were not compatible. I know of somebody at the time. The son was, when he had this similar problem, the son was what? The son was 17, and the son was like, I want to save my father. Okay, daddy, I can give you this, talk to your doctors, let's know if I'm a match. Then the wife couldn't, because the wife has a high blood pressure and all of that. So they said she's not healthy enough to donate. So they now agreed. The son was, talk to your doctor. They now said, you're 17. I don't know. I said, but I'm gonna turn 18 in few months. So maybe before the surgery, I will be 18. That kind of a thing. He was so ready to donate to his father. But at the end of the day, by the time they did the testing, he was not compatible. So he was ruled out by the doctors. But somebody from their family donated kidney to that man. Somebody, it could be your sister's kids, your brother's kids. It could be somebody, in the family. And whereby you've exhausted all your options, then you now start asking for strangers. But we all know, and for Ike, for the senator, hi, Black Money, thank you for joining me today. Thank you, thank you. Of course, now Vicky is laughing when I said bye. Yeah, they don't want their children to participate in things like that. But it's good if another person's child is the one doing it. Jen said, that's where I really wish we have investigative journalists like Kemi Olunola says she's investigative journalist. I really wish we have people like that will pick up a story and follow that story to the very end. If we have such investigative journalists in Nigeria, by now we would have been hearing stories about where this boy is from, his mother, his grandparents, anybody from his community that can vouch for this boy's age. I think the boy is lying and the family is aware of the trip. They probably did not. Okay, let me read this. They probably did not do the hospital verification in Nigeria to avoid creating an alarm. The family has a hand in the boy's action. Simple. You just said it. You just read my mind as if we spoke about this yesterday. The boy is not saying the truth. That's just the way I feel. Because there's no way you take somebody's child. If he's still 15, then the parents will give you their child. You process passports. You try. It doesn't. Processing passport, at least it will take 2 or 3 months, because things we are beginning to open up. Remember, all the embassies were closed and all of travel was a little difficult at the time. So anyway, let me read another comment before I continue my thought. Vicky said, right now there is a proof that the boy age is 21. He was born up to, you see, I said it. I've not even gone online to read. I know the boy was lying. You see, thank you, Vicky, for this information. I appreciate it. His PVN has exposed him, and PVN is something they cannot alter. I knew the boy was lying. I knew it. Thank you for verifying this much for me. Thank you so much. I brought out the proof on a video I made today. The PVN is showing everything. No case. No, there is still a case. So the boy thinks they deal with Nigerian police. If he lied against the police, for the police to have made this judgment and detain somebody overseas, the boy will hear way for false information. He will still get his judgment. It's not this one they will say, okay, go, the case has been solved. Unless if the senator withdraws the case now, then the boy is free to go. I knew the boy was lying. Somebody who is desperate to stay overseas, who is desperate, he could have calmed down. I knew he wasn't saying the truth. Thank you for making that video. Definitely, I'm going to watch it, Vicky. I'm going to watch. I brought out the proof on the video I made today. The BVN is showing everything, so no case again. The boy is still going to answer to the UK police. Thank you, N Silva. Thank you so much for joining. Passport processing is another thing in Nigeria. Yes, so that was why I said there is no way this boy's mother or father, or maybe somebody relative, is honestly, Priska, sincerely, I'm happy that Vicky said this, because I began to wonder since yesterday. I said there is no way this boy is not saying the truth. From the picture I saw online, this boy is not 15. That's just the truth. So the boy, if the boy is 21, that's at least they have the right age for organ donation. Okay. And I believe the senator wouldn't have gone for somebody that might, because you don't trust anybody these days. You don't know who is desperate for something. So having said that, if the boy lied to the police, he's going to get his judgment. That's given. And then the senator, they will still have to do some thorough interview and all of that. The boy can still decide to claim, I did not give my consent. They forced me into this. They just to like bring himself out of the hook. But I'm glad the way it's going, at least somebody has verified the boy's age. The body is even damaging. The boy is even damaging himself. UK will not allow him to near their country again. That's the thing. That some see and Silver, there is something we need to understand. When someone is desperate, they can go to any length to achieve what they want. But unfortunately for this boy and whoever that advised him to go this route, did not do well, because I believe someone must have contacted him and make sure come back. Oh, hi, as the country had, this is an opportunity for you to stay. And then again, I now have another question for this. Even if the boy is not a match to the daughter, okay, that would have been an opportunity for the senator to help the boy and his family. If he wants to stay in the UK, they should be able to help him. Okay, this is the point, that you only came here on a medical visa or a visiting visa. You are not allowed to live here and all of that. But if you decide to figure yourself out, that's up to you. From those points, we can take responsibility of you, but we need to have this agreement with your family so that they will know we advise you to go back and you refuse. I don't know if they had this kind of prep talk and all of that. If they did, and the boy still decide to put them into trouble, implicate them by his statement, the boy will answer to all of those in an interrogation room. He's definitely going to answer to all of those. But if, according to what the boy said, that they turned him to a slave, if that was the case, that because he wasn't a match, they turned him to a slave and all of that, if they can verify anything, the senator still has to answer to the law. It's a good thing that happened to where you say, yeah, when you go to police, you get a reasonable judgment. Not like when you go to police in Nigeria, the rich always find a way of coming out from police net more than the poor. Uh, Let me read something good. Let them deal with that boy. If the senator is innocent, I know like we don't like our politicians, but this is not the way to go about it. We can say the truth. We can't see the truth and say it's not. Absolutely, Vicky. That was why I decided to come and do this video. When I heard it, I said that man looks like a very reasonable person. I'm talking about the senator. And there is no way he would just go and bring a 15-year-old boy from the street, somebody that they did not vent very well, to do this kind of transaction for them. And secondly, maybe the girl, the daughter in question, I don't even want to believe that they did not do all the medical checks before they got the guy a visa. They must have done all the medical checks before they got him visa. Then when they got to UK, it was a different thing. How how we will know the truth is when the boy's school teacher will come to say he knows the boy for years. Honestly, Vicky, I started thinking, how do you verify age when a child is born in Nigeria? They don't go and register the um, the child's birth with population census. They don't. Very few people in Nigeria know that they can actually go and register their child with the population census. Very few Nigerians, until they start processing visa overseas or something, document that they now want to relocate, they will ask you to go get your birth certificate from Nigerian population census. People don't know that that's the right thing to document that child's birth. The hospital will give you a birth certificate, but most hospitals in Nigeria are private hospitals. They don't even coordinate their system with the government, any database. There is no database that collects everybody's date of birth. There is no database that stores anything. So let's say this boy was born in the village in a community hospital, maybe 20 years ago. If you go back to that community hospital now, you can't find the record. Is either the record is damaged because everything is manual. Is either the record is damaged, or maybe their ceiling was leaking and rain came in and destroyed the document, or maybe fire, or maybe anything could happen to any written document. So it's difficult to verify that boy's age, except the explanation you just gave us down about the BVN. Okay, that's a good way to verify. Um, Okay, and Ed Variety, thank you so much. Your network was down. I think there is a major reason that triggered the Senate to fly him out. Think of it, if 10 people were ready to donate, will the senator just fly him out without hospital confirmation? That's the thing now. That's the thing. I don't want to believe that it was until they got to UK that they realized the boy was not a match. Maybe when they got to UK, they did more examination on the boy and realized there is something that is not working for them, that they can't overlook this. So for that reason, we cannot take this person because of medical condition. They must have done all the tests before they continue. Thank you, Nancy. Hi, thank you so much. I really appreciate. Those population census is not recording anything. No. They can even manipulate your age with them. Are you serious, and Silver? I don't want to believe this. Are you really serious? Do you know when I was doing my documentation here, when I was trying to do my papers, they sent me something back because what I came to the US with was declaration of age. Okay, that was what I came. They now said that this does not qualify for the as the required document. That I need original copy of date of birth. And then that since I was born after they said anybody, that's the official thing you see online for Nigeria, anyone born from 1971 till today must get a birth registration from National Population Census. That's what is on the website in the US USICS aside when it comes to, doing your papers and all of that. So I was like, oh, so I have to do it. I didn't know who to send. And what I did, I went to the local government where I was born, and then my brothers had to, it was a long journey, a long journey, but eventually we got something from the local government. Remember, most of us live in the city, and then you have to go back to, that was what I did because I didn't have anybody to run around for me that time in Lagos, the National Population Census. I said, no, there must be another way. What if I go to my local government? So I went to the local government. The local government gave the birth certificate at the time. That was in Oka. So that was a way to verify it. Simio, I feel the boy is lying. There is more. The boy is lying. The boy is desperate. He doesn't want to come back to Nigeria. But what I was saying, the senator could have squared him well now. There is a way to do things, okay? Okay, you don't want to come back. How will you survive? Okay, let's talk to your parents. Let's do this. We are going to give you maybe 10,000 euro, 10,000 pounds, or $10,000 for you to now take care of yourself from here onwards. If that option was available, I don't know. If they tried to help the boy to situate him in the UK, if they actually tried, I don't know. That we cannot verify. But like I said, hopefully we have some investigative journalists that will be able to follow this story from the beginning to the end so that we can get to the root of it. I'm seriously Rose said that national population consensus will even help you manipulate the date of birth. You see why they don't believe in our place. Hey, some people know they say they come from that place here because of they are bad. You can't trust anything coming from here. Do you guys know that common and Nigerian food, some of them had to go through Ghana to come to the US? Our African food. Because the story we heard was in the 80s when they were bringing them, they were bringing some rotten food that by the time you go, maggot everywhere and all of that. So they were banned. Was it in the 80s or 70s? So they don't even have direct, export system to bring them here. So let me not that, go out of my discussion this morning. I wanted to baptize my baby. They said I should go and get birth certificate from them. Oh, the man even made mistake on the certificate. Long process. Are you serious? Rose, you not kill me. She said, in case you want to get it now, go to the local health center. Get it done for two. Hey, Rose, don't finish matter. For 2K, back to our story. I'm not saying the senator is innocent. Only 2K. You see why? That's why they can't verify any document. Imagine the date of birth I use, the declaration of birth I've used it when I was entering university a long time. That was when I used that, my declaration. So it's very old in the sense that I used it all my 5 years as studying the university, went to law school, did masters, went back to work, to workforce. I started working in Nigeria before. So that particular one, and I still have the original, the first document that was stamped for me, wasn't photocopy. I've had it for at least more than 8 years. Yeah, more than 8 years from the time I entered university, more than 8 years. So when I came thinking because it was old, they said no, that they don't trust it. I have to go and get something from either my local government or population census. I said, that was how I went back to the local government. Success and Ike, thank you for joining me. Z Berry, thank you so much. Thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate. Yeah, and Silva, I'm not saying that the senator is innocent, but it's not for me to decide. And I'm not saying he's guilty. It's not for me to decide. I'm happy this thing happened in UK where they can get justice and where the boy can get justice as well if he's saying the truth. But the moment I saw the boy's picture, I read all those things online, and he's now seeking asylum. I knew of a fact that the boy was lying. Because one thing is this, in as much as the couple, that's the senator and wife, they are desperate to save their child. But if their child is already on dialysis, you understand, that means it's not on immediate danger of death because she's doing dialysis. So they might be desperate, but not to the point of going to someone that is underage. No, I did not believe that story at first, and I'm happy Vicky said the guy's information is online, so people now know that he's 21, that he lied against the senator. So the thing I said when I started this story, I said, was it that none of the senators' children could donate for to save their sister? Was it that the senator's sisters, none of the children, the senator's brothers, none of his children? So they did not find anybody from the immediate family, which is the senator, the wife, and the children, extended family, the cousins, and what have you, aunties, uncles. They did not find somebody except a stranger. And then the stranger is one landing them into trouble. Anyway, I'm happy that at least somebody is saying something about the boy, that the boy is 21, so he's of legal age to donate organ to anybody. Okay. And then they're going to go do more further digging in that investigation. I don't have any problem about that. So thank you. Moreover, let me say, he's very selfish. He's not considering his family back home. Yeah, you can say that the boy is very selfish. He's not considering the honest. The point is this: before he made that decision that he's going to claim asylum, and this is an opportunity for him, he forgot the fact that UK and Nigeria is like you're sleeping, when you wake up you're in Nigeria, or 6 hours you're in Nigeria, and then they have a way of doing their investigation, which will be very easy for them because they have all the Interpols as well in Nigeria. So for them to conduct their investigation will not be a very difficult one. The boy forgot the fact that he went, I believe he must have done primary education, and the time they registered him from primary school, all of those will come in, will come around to like verify if he's of real age or if it's underage for that procedure. So those ones are going to be determined. And like I said, we are community based. We are like knitted people. We have families, we have clans, we have villages. You understand? So some they will go to the extent of going to your village to verify. And when I say these things, people don't know they do all of those. It's like, okay, you want to do, people don't even know when you start lying to the government, anybody should be very careful, because the government will still use the indigenous people to find their information. That's one thing. And the boy is not exposed to know that. He did not do his homework well. For you to have lied, and based on your lies, they arrested somebody, refused them bail, which, if at the end of the day this case happens to turn against the British police, they are going to pay huge sum, because the senator and wife will now go to court to like claim damages, and the boy is making the government lose money for lying. They don't take those things easy. If they're going to pay money at the end of the day for detaining them, for denying them a bail and all of that, that means they're going to do some settlement with the senator and his wife because of what the boy did. They're going to use taxpayers' money to pay compensation or to pay for damages because you lied to us. So all those things will be verified, all those things will be investigated. So that is it. It is safety issue is involved for the family. Safety. Abio, because now we all know how Niger dey, in the sense that the boy not considering his family. What if the rich, like the rich like to oppress the poor, right? They can hire people to go and intimidate them. That's is a cry of a boy that is desperate to live overseas, but he did not do it well. He did not do it well at all. He would have found another way of getting into the society without causing trouble to those people that gave you passport and gave you visa in the first place. Thank you, Trending G's. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. He might be lying about the age, but they might have also coerced him into agreeing to do it. Ziberi, I hold a different opinion on this coercing him to do it. See, if he's 21 and he's jobless in Nigeria and he's looking for means to go, he will agree quick, easily. When I mean easily, he's jobless, opportunity to go to UK. Do you know, maybe they made some promises that they did not fulfill the moment they realized the boy was not a match. Maybe they told him, after the whole procedure, we're going to situate you in UK, we'll make sure you're comfortable and all of that. This thing does not just come, you do the test, you go back. If you're, there are promises behind those things. I'm going to take care of you from here going forward, your family going forward. And then maybe when they realize that the boy is not a match, they have to go back and start hunting for another match. You understand? They now told the boy, oh boy, the thing no work as we talk. So you have to get back to Nigeria. And the boy is saying, no, you no go anywhere. You understand? People must have, you don't reach, you don't enter, don't even bother coming out. Think about all the options you can use to stay. You don't enter, you don't enter. You know, that kind of selfish thing. I want to be here by any means necessary. I want to be here. So that could be his issue. Thank you so much, and Silva, for sharing the link. Thank you so much. The man is dead wrong. Who is dead wrong? He should have done it the right way. Please, oh, is it the senator that is dead wrong? He should have done it the right way, or the boy that is dead wrong. I need to understand. Trendy Gist, if you want me to drop the link, let me know in the comment section so that you can hop up to come and explain all of this. But what I said before you guys came in, I said a few points that, okay, the Ike is dead wrong. Okay. Dead wrong in which way, please? Elaborate for me, let me know. Dead wrong in which way? Have they gone further from what the news said? Is there any investigation that came up? His name is too long. Yeah, you can call him senator. I can't even call his name too. So they didn't even do any screening. Zberry, that's where I am asking a question. They must have done screening. There is no way that senator will use his money, get him passport, get him visa, because I know his own visa was done with the senatorial thing. That was why he got visa quickly. There is no way they would have done all the screening. Okay, or they would have done all the screening and all of that before they left Nigeria. So maybe when they got overseas, they now did further tests on this boy. Maybe they saw that he has one kind of sick issue in his body, or maybe the boy went there and started drinking a lot of alcohol if he was not under watch, and that could result to a lot of things in the system at the time they went for tests. A lot of things could have played in here. That I don't want to believe that they just took him without doing screening. No, I don't want to believe that. Ike said the accused is a lawyer. If he wanted to do organ trafficking, he wouldn't go to UK. Aisha is the real market. Asia is the real market. Thank you so much, Success and Ike. You are on point. That's what I said. You know, you're on point. He's a lawyer. If he wanted to do Asia is the real market, yeah, he wouldn't have gone to UK. And that is the truth. And for somebody saying that the boy was coerced, see, once they tell you can live by one kidney, and that is true, people live with one kidney, and they've been doing well. For most people that do not know, what's his name? Pope Francis has been surviving many years. So you can actually live with one kidney and do well. So if the boy got that information and then asked person, of course, he wants UK. I don't travel with that one. I'm not coming back. So the boy was not coerced, as far as I know. Oh, what did I do here? He was not coerced. Link share. Thank you so much. I want to chook mouth for this matter. Okay, let me share link. Oh, please. I need somebody that could come and tell us more. Okay, share the link. All right, so N Silver, I've shared the link so you can hop in. Thank you so much. Sweet Pea. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sweet Pea, for coming in. Thank you. Baningos, thank you so much, sis, for coming. I appreciate the way he went about the whole issue. Come in now, Mel. The way he went about the whole issue, I don't know the way he went about it. So come in. I'm only basing the fact on what Channel's News said and what I read from Linda Ikeji. Channel News said the boy got here and they said it was not a match, and the boy went and reported to the police that they okay. Zberry said some of those Western hospitals can be unnecessarily stubborn. They might have insisted on their own. Yes, that's the truth. That's the truth. They will do their own, and once their own finds peace, that's it. And Silva, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much, sis, for joining me. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma.
So go ahead. You say you want to shoot me out on this. Go ahead. Let me.
I'm telling you honestly, I don't this. Hi, everyone in the comment section. Okay, see, I'm not saying that that man is innocent. I mean, the senator in person.
Mhm.
You cannot carry somebody from Nigeria all the way to that place. You did not verify. You did not check. You did not make all the necessary inquiry that you're supposed to make. Okay, let's rule the fact out. This one that you are a parent, you are desperate for your daughter to get you. Let's rule the desperate aspect out. But you should have done necessary things that you're supposed to do. Make sure that the boy is even a perfect match before processing visa. Before
Yeah.
doing all the
Yes.
all the
Yeah. Go ahead.
before doing all the necessary things that you're supposed to do. You don't just wake up and carry somebody 21 years old. How old is the person that you want to give the kidney to? That you just carry somebody. I mean, see, nobody that will leave Nigeria that will get to UK that will not do anything to stay there. But the boy was just going in a wrong way, okay? Maybe the boy has touched down, he saw good life, good road, good lightning, everything. All the things they denied us in this country, the boy saw it there. I was like, oh boy, I know they go anywhere.
I
I am
tell
not
you
going back. We die here. You get that kind of thing. A lot of people are even willing to be in prison in Oyibo land.
honestly.
They don't mind. They don't mind. So the man should have done the necessary inquiries, make necessary, put everything in check. The man of his caliber, he should have done. He's not a baby now.
Let me say something. Don't think he did not. This person must have followed through. They would have gone to hospitals in Nigeria to verify, verify, verify. But when you come to Oyibo, they will start from the beginning. They don't care when you have your certificate that is a match. They say, well, I've seen the medical record, blah, blah, blah. We are going to still run our tests. And
Okay.
if they notice there is anything, even if it's slightest thing, they don't like to take chances. Just
Okay.
slightest, let's assume that the boy is alcohol, because if you're hypertensive, you're not a match. You might be a
Okay.
match, genetically, you understand, the blood might match. But once there is a sign of hypertension, you're not a match. I've gone through this very close somebody that I know. When they had to make sure that their donor, you understand, was monitored. When I mean monitored, know what the person is eating until.
Yes.
So it could be that the boy got there now, see life. Maybe he was not monitored, he started drinking. I don't know what happened. There must have been something medically wrong that made them to say, now we are not taking this person. There is something that happened. There was something they saw in their own medical evaluation that said, no, we can't.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's learned. If you are entering into agreement with somebody and the thing did not work out, is it not for you to take the person back or explain to the person, okay, so since this thing did not work out because of this or because of that, you people will reach a mutual agreement because of the kind of person you are in the society. You wouldn't want your image to be dent like that. And you know the kind of country you are coming out from, that anything politicians are not taking it easy. These guys have milked us a lot.
Okay, fine. Okay, what do you think that they did not do well? Is it how they pushed the boy out?
You said?
What do you think they did not do well with the boy? Because what the news said that they asked the boy to return to Nigeria. He refused.
See, like I said, there's nobody that will go to that kind of place. You're telling the boy to come back, the boy will just agree just like that. Okay? You know the kind of person you are in society. It's just for you to be diplomatic about it. If the boy promise him something, do whatever thing that you need to do so that you return this boy
Now
safely back
you're
to his
talking.
country without
Now you're
without
talking.
issue,
Now
without
you're
denting
talking.
your image.
Uh-huh.
Okay? You just be diplomatic about it. You don't just say, okay, because maybe they say because it doesn't work out, you are trying to do it by force. If not me, I will lie against you. I'll tell you, okay, I'm not going anywhere. You see this UK? Yeah. Maybe the boy is the only person that has been to Obodo Ibo in his lineage. And I tell him to just go like that.
See,
So you have to just apply wisdom.
you are on point in this one. And that was what I said when I was starting. I said, okay, maybe they realized the boy is not a match. They didn't want to spend more money on the boy.
Mm,
Because most people can be
they,
very
they
greedy.
just want to discard him like that.
Yes, and they can be very greedy. I said, if they were wise, what they would have done, swear £10,000 and tell
Honest,
this
it will
guy,
not even cost you anything.
don't cost them anything. You tell this guy, oh boy, you know walk, oh, but since you know won't go back, use this money, sustain yourself, get back into the society, find Nigerian community. They will help you settle down. You understand? You get what I'm saying? But
Yes.
the boy knows say if he goes into the community to take him a longer time to get status, or if he claims asylum, it's like this: you're under government protection when you claim asylum,
Mm,
and that's what the
mm,
boy did. So the boy did not care whether his family, like Success was saying here, whether it's going to have any impact on his family, because
mm.
definitely his family, the Ekweremadu, the people they know back home, will be threatening this. Look at what your boy is causing us now. Look at our son is in the news. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they don't care about anything. Let me welcome Trending Gist. Trending Gist, welcome to my live stream.
You're
Thank you so much.
welcome, Trendy Gist.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, host and co-host. Thank you.
All right, I'm
Thank
going to
you.
read what Zberry said at Success and Ike. That is how they are. They think that should be the normal thing to do. To be sure, not only by words of mouth, most especially when the report is coming from Nigeria. That means Success must have said something that I missed, that she replied to. Some of these Western hospitals can be unnecessarily stubborn. They might want to insist on their own pathology system. Definitely, they can't rely on what what they said about the one in. They will say, "Oh yeah, thank you. You came with your medical report. Fantastic."
It doesn't necessarily mean it has to do with Nigeria, but when you talk about medical stuff, know that it's life or death, and any mistake you make, you will be sued. You cannot just okay, you bring somebody into the hospital. We just don't transfuse blood. We first of all, we test the blood. I'm talking as a microbiologist. You have to run the test. It is necessary because you need to know, you have to have this record. What if they carry out the procedure and something went wrong? And now the people are demanding bring hospital record, and now they bring the record to court, and judge is looking at it, seeing that you did not do what you're supposed to do. You're going to lose your license. You went to school for how many years to be a medical doctor, a medical practitioner, whatever you chose to be, and you cannot afford to be careless. So
Absolutely.
that's what I'm saying. The man, it is the Ekweremadu's fault from beginning to end, because the way he went about it was wrong. He knows that something like this has to do with life and death. Why didn't he go
Thank
through
you.
the right process? He has the
Thank
money. We're
you.
not even talking
No, no,
about a
no, no,
poor
no.
Nigerian.
He has the money.
You lost me here. You said right process. What right process,
Which
please?
is people that have this type of issues. They register and they try to find people that are compatible. So it takes longer time to find, but yes, do it the right way. Register your child or your relative or whoever that this person need a donor. They will find it, and that's one way. If this man wanted it to be something that he wanted someone from his country, maybe he can trust more because of they eat healthy. We know we have some kind of good food, better than most of those other world where they eat pizza and all these weird fat things that might, you understand. So tell me now, if Ekweremadu would have put it out in the news in Nigeria that this is what the challenges he's facing, and they are looking for a donor, and he offers a huge sum of money, do you know how many Nigerians will line up officially
See,
signing
Mel,
papers? In fact,
Mel,
even if you need to go to court.
Now, I prefer to differ on this case because the reason why I said that, they must have done all the tests. When I mean all the tests, remember, this girl is in UK hospital. The boy is in Nigeria. So what the only thing they can do is to check the boy's system with the
Did
UK.
you see? Did you see the current news about the girl that is cancer? The thing that is happening to her is related to bleaching.
Oh,
That is
which,
related
which
to
wait, wait,
bleaching.
wait, which
Internet never
Let me
forget.
ask you something. Why didn't this Nigerian guy that he was a producer? What is his name? OJB or something? The guy that he later died. That his wife donated this thing. Why didn't that guy have the same issue when he was having that problem? That his wife ended up donating her own whatever organ that he needed, and he
no,
survived
which
for.
issue? When you say issue, I need you to spell it out. I need to know what you're talking about. Is it
Why is this? I'm talking about this Nigerian senator. Why is he facing difficulties in the UK or whichever country that he wanted to pass from or go
He's
conduct this
facing
whole
the
thing?
difficulties because this boy ran to the police seeking for asylum, said the environment wanted to use him for organ harvest. That's why they arrested him. And it's a big allegation on somebody.
But that's my point. That's my point. How are you, somebody as learned? I'm believing he's learned. If he is one senator, I'm believing he is a learned man. How can he rely on who found this type of
No.
for him?
See, Mel, let me come here to say, let me say something. Like I said before, this boy's medical record must have been checked before they got the passport.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about the medical. I'm not talking about character-wise, mentality. I'm not talking about his health issues. The way he thinks.
You're missing
because
something.
how can you agree to something from your country, from Nigeria? We've agreed that this is what you would do. We sign papers. We take you for medical checkup. We take you to embassy to get passport, to do everything. You know fully well that this is your mission to Obodo Ibo. We didn't tell you that we were taking you there for summer holiday. We're not taking you there to go flanger. You know that you are going there for a job. And everything must have been spelled out to him in black and white.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the fault of the senator. Why would he rely? Like,
rely on what? You're getting it all wrong. The boy in question is 21. It's a calculated move. He's a desperate Nigerian that will not want to return back home. That's where they start having problems.
That is why he should have done a proper investigation.
There is no proper anything you can do. Anybody that is desperate in Nigeria that will submit to donate his kidney for cash or monetary reward, he can do anything. They can do anything. See, this is not charity that this boy is doing.
Of course, but you still agree with me that our people, you know that our people are giving. They are selling it to even Oyibo people. They are selling their kidney. Most of those people that come back spraying money in the street, you know, they've sold something. They sold some part of their body.
I don't think the senator did anything wrong in getting this guy. I don't think so. Where I have issues with, where the guy was not a match, why didn't they settle this guy? That's where I have issues.
See, Oyoyo, the senator in question, maybe he was trying to hide. That was why he went for the guy for the first place. They didn't want to make it open. If the guy has agreed now or everything, they carried out their plan and all that, we will not even know about it. He didn't want to make it open. If he had made it open, he would have gotten a genuine person that is not only desperate. Somebody that will deliver the job.
That's the point. He acted as if he smuggled this boy out from the country. That's what's making the boy act this way. You get? It's almost like they smuggled him out, keeping everything secret.
If everybody knew, they would be like, why did you agree?
Let me say something. And Rose, let me say something. When it concerns health, it's not a public information. You can only come public when you need assistance. And if they can get that assistance without going public, I will go with that route. See, health record is protected by
You
law.
being a politician and knowing fully well that you will be a suspect anywhere you go outside Nigeria, the youths are crying, people are complaining, and the rest of the world might be quiet, but they are watching. So
And at the
any
same time, it's
opportunity
still
they
a
have
youth.
to embarrass the politicians, they will do it.
I
And
know.
seeing,
It's
and
still
Oyoyo, one thing again that I was
you said
thinking, if
something,
this man was
Mel.
not a politician, if he was just a regular, let's say a businessman from Nigeria, that his business is legit, you get, when the UK government or the medical whatever in the UK, when they would check this person, see that he's a legit businessman, they wouldn't have embarrassed him the way they're embarrassing this man. These people will do everything to make our own people look bad, for them to look good.
Mel, I disagree.
That's what it is.
No, Mel, I disagree. Do you know why I disagree? The allegation is strong. Whether you're a genuine businessman or your president's son, the allegation is wrong. It's very, very, very high. See, it's like you're going to pass through the airport. Then somebody has made a claim about you at the police station. You'll be on what? Flight risk, right? The boy said he's being used for organ harvest. It's a strong allegation. Whether you're a genuine businessman or you're the local in the street, they will hold you. They will hold, the point where I'm trying to understand is, at what point did they lose communication? At what point? Is it that they promised this guy heaven and earth and he got to UK, he was not a match? And
my sister, they must have promised him. They must have promised him,
No,
because
even if he's not a
the
match,
guy will
shouldn't you
just be
do
like,
something
this
for
is
him?
this is a case of life or death that we're
Because
talking
the
about.
senator is wealthy.
The guy did not consult God to know if he will even come out alive.
Come out of surgery. Why you're talking?
So they promised him a lot of things. You cannot just come and tell me now that I should come and
even
donate
if he
my
doesn't
kidney.
come
I'll
out,
say,
his
okay,
parents, his
let's
siblings
go,
will get the
because
money now.
how are we
You
sure
have
that
to
the
sign
siblings
your
will get
next
the
of
money?
kin.
It's not the
In
same.
something
How are
like
we
this, when it
sure?
has to do with life and death, you have to sign. Your next of kin will get, if you die, your next of kin
Like,
gets
you
it.
don't know the country that we are in. You can even sign that, oh, your next
Well,
of
we
kin
don't
will
know
get
how
it.
that
They
part will
will
go, but
wipe
I'm just saying
everything
that
out.
you will sign for it. It has to be documented.
I know they must have done their due diligence. I want to give people that benefit of doubt. But where
They did.
went
The
wrong,
man of his character should have done that.
he's
He did.
settling this boy. He knows that Nigerians are hungry. The boy said,
Very, very.
Oga, no one go back home. Uncle,
He should have just been diplomatic about it, because of the nature of his job, the kind of caliber of human being that he is. Even if the boy is asking for 20,000 pounds, even if the boy asks for 20,000 pounds, he can give it.
Yeah.
All this thing is just selfishness. You want to eat your cake and have it back.
And have it. Yes, that's what I feel. The moment the boy was not a match, they discarded the boy. They don't want to help him.
All the information, all the promises they made to him, they should have just stick to it. Even if the boy was not a match, see it as a sacrifice. All the things that you are doing so that your child will get well. Just see it as a sacrifice. Even if the boy demanded for 20,000 pounds, give it to him. Good name is better than good name is better than ego. Eziafa ego. Now they've dent his name. Like local people say on the street that doesn't even know what is happening, said the man is selling human being.
Thank you. See where I'm
and they are running with it. They are running with it on the street. That that one that is selling human being is raining. They don't even know if they wanted to use the organ to save a life or something. So you should have thought about all these things and stick to the agreement.
You see,
if the boy refused to go, there's a way you go about it. Okay, or you even be the one to go and make the report to UK government. See the agreement. Bring your claim, bring your evidence. They will not help you and deport the guy.
He should have just registered. Even in the US, they do it. All these people with organ, this and that's why even when you're a human being that you are alive, but you live in the US, you know it. That even as a human being, you have the right to sign that when I die or if I get accident, my organ should be donated. So people donate. So go put your child in that list now and wait. And keep praying.
No, Mel, don't say that. You know, why I'm so careful with this is because a family of mine had gone through this process. So I know what it is. When you say wait, it's not that easy. It's not that easy when you get that result and tell you that you are on stage 4, renal failure.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
You know, when we don't wear
do everything possible to save your life.
If you wear the shoes, you understand the pain. They don't sleep at night. You can't drink water and have peace. you're so worried. And the
And
patient
desperate.
is counting
Yeah.
time. The patient is counting time.
Yeah, but
Will I die today?
okay,
Will I
okay.
die
If
tomorrow?
that's the case, Oyoyo, the whole family, nobody matched too. From father, mother, sister, brother, cousins, auntie,
Mel,
uncles,
now
nobody matched.
you're talking my language. You know, when I came here, I said 4 points. Is it that that's the only child that Warren has? That's the senator. Is it that they don't have siblings that are 18 years old? Because at 18, you can. Is it that they don't have siblings that I want to save my sister? I want to save my cousin. So nobody in his entire family was a match.
Or
Vicky
his lineage.
or lineage or even community. Vicky said that sometimes you try the whole family, they will not be matched. I said, I don't know, but when I was doing inquiries about this, the one that related to me, there is no hospital. When I mean best hospitals in my state that I did not call. To the point that we were planning, okay, fly the person overseas, come and do the surgery overseas. Do you know how much I was asked to put down? $586,000 before they will even start coming. So, and then because we said, okay, there is a family donor, okay, they were so happy and relaxed because they told me this person is not a citizen, is not a resident, they can't put him on the list. You were talking about list. He's not a citizen, he's not a resident, we can't put him on the list. He's not qualified for our own donor bank. Then if you have a donor, you understand, that's fine, that's fantastic. If it's the closer it is, the better for survival. That's the thing people don't know. It's not just getting kidney. You talked about OJ, somebody, the musician. His wife was a match, but at the end of the day, he still passed. We can get a match, but if there is any small
not immediately, thing, I think he lived about a year or over a year after the surgery before he passed.
That's not a year. A year is still survival. The survival time for you is 2 years. If you pass 2 years after post surgery, then there are chances that you're going to do well. Okay, so when the thing is, the UK hospital must have tried this boy and found something. It might be one thing that Nigerian people overlooked. No, it's not a serious thing. But UK will say, no, based on this particular thing, we cannot conduct this procedure. And that was where the genesis of the whole thing started.
Don't mind me. I read Success and Ike comment. He got me laughing. He said, okay, that's why everybody should have plenty children. No? So that some will be donating
like the man has 4 kids now. The photo that they posted, it was about 4 plus 2, like 5.
And we don't know their ages. We don't know their ages.
They look old. Those people don't big. Even the daughter will get the issue. That person look big now. They all look big. I think they are all above 21. Did you see the photo online? They all look, I think they're above 21. Except some money will make them big like that. I don't know, but
so, man, see my take here. If they're above 21, do you know why they did not choose any of their children? Do you know the reasons?
Because the surgery is risky now. It's risky.
They don't want the person to that
you can lose too.
They don't want their child to pay, right? And also, if their lifestyles, people are laughing. If their lifestyles are not healthy lifestyle, the doctors will not choose them.
That's true. That's true.
You know, this is about rich men said Peking. If they come overseas now, champagne at 32,000, they go buy them.
That's why.
This one is.
That's why.
Then go buy
if you are a big man, help in investing in your country so that if something like this happens. If he's in Nigeria now, they overlook this guy that is talking all this stuff. You will not be bothering about did he match or no match. Just send him back to your village. Or go back to your village. Our job is done here. But they will not agree. They will carry all our investments and take it abroad.
If they had fixed the hospitals too and we could do this surgery there, do you know that nobody will complain? They will just open that
boy. That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
Put it in a manipulation style.
Wait, who is Mike? I have a Mike here on the trying to jump in. Who is Mike? I don't see that name in the comment section. So Mike, if you're hearing my voice, who are you? Let us know who you are in the comment section before we let you in. See, it's not that easy. You people think it's that easy. It's not that easy to harvest something and do it sharp. It's not. If you're caught, and that is in Nigeria. If they catch you, you don't enter police case. And if you don't get money to bring yourself out of that police case, you go remain there. Those are the ones they charge to court when you don't get money. So it's not that easy. They have a very, very wonderful kidney center in Abuja. that Zenith Kidney Center, Zenith Medicals or something. That's where the likes of Ibu and this other guy that eventually died. There's one Nollywood person that died a few months ago of the same kidney. They go there, they get transplant, they have successes. And then, like I said, survival rate is not you survive 1 year. No. Complications, when you see complications, you that is a relative of the person going through, you don't sleep because you're always praying, asking God. They can't eat this, they can't do that. You have to exercise. The kidney is not adjusting. So if you both have to check the boy, say, based on this one thing, we might have casualties. We don't want to do this thing. And then the greedy boy do not want to return back to Nigeria. What a senator would have done, okay, guy, we are going to, because you're not a man, so we can't fulfill all the conditions we promise you and your family, but we are going to give you XYZ so that you can integrate since you don't want to come. We'll call 1 or 2 Nigerian families. They will help you get you situated here. You have to find out how others do it and get papers. And
it's not even 1 or 2 or two Nigerian family. Is he not there? Is his family not there? How about the boy? What is he doing?
No.
How about the boy?
Which boy? It will put them in more trouble. You know, these people can turn to blackmailers. You have to make sure
maybe he didn't want to stick to the agreement. Now it's only the boy, him and the boy that know the agreement that the one of them, either one of them broke, that is bringing out their leg like this.
Amakalicious, thank you for joining us. But Lut does kidney transplant too. Okay, yeah. Aminu Kanu does kidney transplant. Absolutely. They all.
Why would they not do it here? Why would they not do it here? Please don't get me wrong. What do you mean by do I trust them? Now school is on strike. They will not allow these children to go and learn. Spoil our educational system, spoil everything. Now they are going abroad to go and get a transplant. They should remain there. I'm not laughing at the lady that is sick, but it's not funny.
It's not funny. Hello, Stella White. Thank you for joining. There is this video Josie did about a hospital in Ghana. When I watched that video, I wasn't even listening to what she was saying. I was looking at the hospital as if I should enter into the video to check out the hospital. And I was like, hey, this hospital, I wish it's in Nigeria. That was
thank you.
I said.
Thank you.
He was just talking, explaining. I didn't even listen to. I was just looking. If you see the way
the former president started the hospital, the present one completed it. Our own is they will just start and leave it. And then another person will come. Another person will come and look for another thing and do. It will be abandoned project.
That's the thing. So when I was looking, I said, if Nigeria could have that kind of hospital, like 20 or even 15 of them.
Just 10. Give us 10. We'll manage.
And that is it now. But they don't. Do you know hospitals they have back home? You're not even sure of going there and coming back alive. You're not talking about people.
Thank you.
A friend of mine, the one couple that came to serve with us in the bank that time, we became very close friends. She's like a little sister to me. So we became very close. When she eventually got married, I was already here. Then she now had her first child. They forgot scissors in this girl's belly. She was complaining that something is her. Then when they now open it up, they saw when they open it up, they now remove. I said, no, before you go there, since there is something they left in there, I need you to go with a lawyer. Do you know what she told me? I said, the lawyer, you're not paying. I will take care of it. I will call one of my colleagues to go and represent you. At least you know all my friends that are lawyers that are practicing in Lagos. One of them will represent it. She said, I just don't want stress.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was it. She went there, they removed it, they sewed the thing back. The thing refused to heal.
Like nothing happened. Like they would just be playing with human beings.
Sorry.
No apology, nothing.
The girl says she doesn't want trouble. You can't force the camel to drink water, even if you are taking in the camel to the river. But it's time we should start bringing people, holding them accountable. And Ekweremadu is suffering this because he has always been in the news. Remember how they dealt with him in Germany during Young Festival? Yeah. So he has been in the news. He would have used that opportunity. I don't want anything that will bring me to the news.
Thank you. And do anything the guy asks you to do, even if he say, give me 20,000 pounds, give it to him and save yourself the stress.
Yeah, and call his family, call whoever that brought the person to you. Look at what is going on. The guy is not a match. I know I promised the family heaven and earth, but we can't continue that promise. But I'm trying to tell this guy, this is the final. Because blackmailers are blackmailers. And the boy must have been tutored hard. No, come back. Oh, this is an opportunity. Seek for this, seek for that. You know, thank you so much, guys. Stella, why I say, you see, I saw the video and I was amazed. That's the thing, that video of the hospital. If only I was counting how many states we have, 36 states. I said, okay, if we have 30 of that kind of hospital in Nigeria, scattered all over Nigeria, we will not be talking about not having a good, health.
When they will have headache, they will fly abroad.
That's the
if
thing.
they're having purging, they will fly abroad.
You see, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's so sad that it happened. It's really so sad. But this boy that lied against the UK police, he has put himself in more trouble. When I mean more trouble,
yeah.
If they verify any of his information, that means he was they had an agreement, they had a contract, he signed the document, his parents or somebody could sign with him, and he's an adult to take this decision about his life. And then by the time they finish all this investigation, and Ekweremadu will now bring their own case against the UK police. When they bring their case, the government will settle. That's how they usually do it. Civil suit. They will settle with XYZ money. Because they have used government money to do settlement, because of your lies, you're facing the music. Not only would they deport the boy's name, signature
will not cross that place again. That's what I say.
When I mean never get a UK passport again. Never. Yeah. They don't understand this thing. Before you go to that extent, I want to get asylum. There are so many ways to get asylum. If he had gone that he's getting asylum because of is it guerrilla fight they did in Abia State that time when the army went to deal with people? I think something like that, something dance. There was this name they called it. You can see
was it a scorpion dance or something?
Something when the army invaded the Abia State, a community in Abia State, they gave it a name. You can use that as a means of escaping. That because they are busy terrorizing your community and that you don't feel free going back, you might be this, that. You can seek asylum, but not to implicate another person because you want to seek asylum. It does not work well now. It does not work well. The Ghana hospital costs only $20 million. $20 million. That's a lot of investment too. But if they had built that in Nigeria, it would have been $40 million or 50.
If
a Python dance. Yes, Python
dance.
Yeah, that was what they called it at the time. So he could have sought for asylum using another means, not where you have, because there's no way they will not have contracts. They must have signed documents. So we're going to hear the rest of the story eventually. We are going to hear it. But what the boy did is wrong. And if it was stinginess that led him to this, is good for him. Okay?
It could be stinginess because they feel that he can always get away with this one. Let me do it. Is it not my Nigeria? I will get away with this one. He forgot that he's dealing with Oyibo people.
So if it was stinginess that led him to this, let him see to it. I believe anyone, if you do wrong, just face the music. So it's better you keep your hands straight. And that's since Mel was telling us his kids, they look big and grown. So he couldn't use any of his siblings, right?
No, he doesn't want to lose 2 children.
That's the thing. But you want to use another person's child. Those that will volunteer because of poverty. They can volunteer
because of money.
Yeah. Because of poverty.
If people can sell their conscience for 5K.
Honestly, it's troubling. The election is coming now.
I just say, if people can sell their conscience for 5K.
5K. Hey.
5,000 naira. You sign away your conscience for the next 4 years.
They even know wise. I wish they'll be charging at least $100,000. At least you say it will sustain them for the next 4 years, right?
Yeah, did I hear $100,000? They are thinking about their immediate need, like pressing need now. They're not even thinking about tomorrow as of the time they're collecting that money.
As if 5,000 can do anything. Cannot even feed your family. What are we talking
for
about?
A day? I'm telling you. How much is one loaf of bread?
Ike is saying that 5K is too much. Oh. That is maybe they even use for one tin of tomato.
Mm. Hey, God. You see?
I
You
don't want,
see?
I don't want to laugh. And it's so bad that,
It's
and
not funny, honestly. Despite the fact that we're laughing at it, but it's not funny.
it's not at all. It's not funny because when you look at it, what will happen if your child is sick? You can't get good medical help. Do you know
They are
when I
not
was
thinking about that. They're not thinking about that. They are just thinking about the present need. They're not even thinking about tomorrow. Oh, what will happen to my children, children? They don't care. I don't
wow,
know the kind of mindset they have. I don't know who. To me, I feel that they are being hypnotized. Honestly, I don't think a normal
it
human
could
being
be.
in
It
their right
could be.
frame of mind can be doing something like that.
There's this thing my mother used to say when we were saying poverty is a disease, oh, that nobody
Very
should
big one.
is a disease.
Community bastard. Hmm.
Honestly, is and then when the thing is eating so deep, it has eaten so deep into Nigerian society that everybody, when you look, forget
You
about all
cannot now differentiate your left from right.
this.
Anyone they present you say okay.
Yes. You see what Ike is saying here? This Ike is making success, and Ike, they are making so much sense. He says they have weaponized poverty. You understand?
Yeah,
And that's what they are
yeah.
using against Nigerians. That's the reason why
Honestly,
this Senator Nwachukwu, Senator Ike will leave Nigeria to come and get medical help for the daughter because he does not trust any health facility there. That's what he's
that's the
simply.
thing I'm telling you. If only they have invested in this country, do the necessary things they're supposed to be doing, they will not be there facing all these charges. They will
Oh,
not.
absolutely. I agree with you. Welcome, be yourself. Hi, beautiful lady. Thank you for joining
Be
me today.
yourself. You are welcome.
Vicky is saying, ordinarily, our Nigerian government to increase our hazard allowance is a problem. They are paying us 5K naira. Uh-uh. You put that in
You
medical
see,
field, they are paying you 5K for hazard
you
allowance. Now,
see,
wow.
you
What is
see.
5,000 naira? Let me even check it in dollars. Oh my
Okay.
goodness. Are you kidding? Hazard allowance. $8. Hey, are they pay? Is it YouTube that is paying cents? What? They have done the thing to YouTube that will pay you cents. Eight $9. $9 cannot even buy you a box of chicken in the store now
You
because
imagine,
things have,
imagine
prices have changed. 5K. That's like it. I just converted it now. I'm still
that
shocked.
that 5K cannot even treat anything in the hospital. Is it the money they're using to buy card? I don't even understand. When you
No,
go to hospital, they will say you need to
hazard
buy card.
allowance, sometimes because of the situation of the sickness, you understand, or the disease, they increase it so much. When they had this COVID thing going on in the US, do you know they opened their border to welcome doctors and nurses from anywhere?
Yes, now,
They were
yes,
taking
yes.
doctors and nurses, and if you see the hazard allowance they put down, is over $4,000.
That's why
Hazard
you have to jump on
allowance.
it if you're a doctor. Imagine.
So, because of the hazard allowance, people were going back to work. Even those that retired nurses, they were going back because one thing about Oyibo nurse here, they want to save life. They want to contribute. They want to make impact. Then that time it was happening because of the situation. I say I don't even go tell any Nigerian nurse make you jump plane become, because if anything happened to them, they will say that you come bring COVID, they kill them. So I didn't even make any news about it. See, really talking here. That 5,000 as hazard allowance. Okay, this person said he's real Z. He real Z that I'm Mike. I don't understand. I don't know this person. Thank you so much for joining me, real Z. Thank you so much. These Niger leaders and they are terrible. Absolutely. Coast. Call. Okay, call knocked me out.
Call,
Okay.
knock me out. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mel. I really appreciate it. If you want me to drop it back, I can do that. Now, waiting with the fight to that Minister of Labor, just they use us, they play. This thing is not funny. I can't believe it's not $8 that is hazard allowance. Can
Hmm.
hazard allowance remove HIV from me? No. If I
When a lot of doctors and nurses are traveling out, very soon you'll be pregnant. You go to hospital, nobody will attend to you.
A lot of doctors in Nigeria have traveled. Yes, so
You
it's really
see, you
alarming. No,
see.
it's really alarming, honestly. Till our hazard allowance in Nigeria is till now we don't. Yeah. See, yeah, it still boils down to what we are talking about and silver. If they can't be able to provide healthcare, do you know one of the things that made me go overseas? I said I don't want to
It
have.
could be healthcare now.
I said I don't want to have my children in Nigeria.
You see,
That's just it. I said, God,
I've not.
please.
Me that like telling stories, I've not gathered myself to share about my pregnancy, my delivery journey, and all that. It was hell. It was
Wow.
hell. That's why the fact that it's private hospital. It's
Wow.
well. One day we'll get to share so that people will learn.
Yeah, it's really worth sharing. That's what YouTube is all about. To share your story can help somebody. That was
Yeah.
one of the things. So when I got admission to come here, I got admission to come here. You register, even as a student, you have insurance, health insurance as a student too. So if anything happened to you, international student, remember that was how I came, international student. Hi Vicky, welcome for to the stream. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome,
Vicky,
welcome.
you are
Thank you,
welcome.
everyone.
Success and politician. Now Yahoo. Success. Politicians are Yahoo boys.
Now then they buy the house them now.
I saw what
What
you
do
do
we
too.
have?
The small house in Lagos, 200 million. You start wondering who they buy them.
Yes, so
People don't understand what is going on now because they can't ship their money overseas. Okay, no more going shipping it to Switzerland. They will catch you. What they are doing is
yes,
use those money to buy properties in Lagos.
yes, they are investing it.
Yeah, EFCC is also aware that that's what, because they came on the news last week to talk about it, that what is going on in Nigeria is they're investing
Mm.
the proceeds of public funds, investing it into real estate property. So when you see I bought a house for me 100 million, like Bobrisky, them are screaming, just ignore them, okay? That's just the way I look at it.
I'm telling you.
They're buying their property with the money they got from taxpayers' funds. That's the way I look at it.
Well,
Thank
I
you,
don't sabi.
thank
That's
you,
just
thank
the
you so
truth.
much. Thank you so much. So, Vicky, you said hazard allowance is still 5,000. We just did the conversion; is about $8 and change. And
It's
you like,
5K. During the corona season, that's during COVID-19, we tried our best to try to push to see whether government will agree. Some said, okay, they're not going to work again to see whether government will agree. They now signed papers, so meetings upon meetings, they said, okay, they have signed it, that they will increase it. Before you know, they started bringing some ridiculous figures that don't make sense. Before you know it, till today, this is COVID-19 is close. It's a year now. What
yeah,
am I even saying? 2 years now.
no,
But
it's
they
a
have not
year
done
that at least
anything.
we said bye bye to it, but it was 2000.
Exactly. Like when it started seriously till now, they have not increased it. They
They will
have
not
not.
increase
And
it again. Now you would
mm,
have used that COVID time to leverage with them and see
but
what
they
they do.
tried now. Everybody tried and they said they've signed it. It's to implement that is the issue. They are not doing anything. See, I had an encounter when I was doing my internship in a federal hospital. I was on call when a man rushed down with a patient sample. It was his child sample. His wife just gave birth and they were trying to test the child. So the sample bottle was soiled. He
Ah,
came to the lab. He came to the lab with the bloody sample. I was busy and I couldn't hold the sample because I was not with my hand gloves. So I told him, okay, can you please just drop the sample on the laboratory bench? This man told me that I should hold the sample with the blood like that. I told him, sir, sorry, I cannot hold it because it's against my ethics. He said, are they not paying me as an allowance? I tell him, I said, sir, my other allowance is 5K. So I cannot touch this sample. He said it's a baby sample. So I said, see, every sample is treated as a potential hazard. I
yes,
cannot touch this sample because I don't know what is in the sample. Normally, this baby can be HIV positive. What if his wife is positive and that's what they are running around? I don't know. The sample is just blood. Anything can be there. So I told him, I didn't tell him that this sample is HIV positive. I told him, sir, please, I can't touch it. Oh, okay, sir, wait, let me go and get the glove and come. He
yes.
said no. He blocked the door. That is how aggressive Nigerian patients are.
What?
He blocked the door.
Can
He
you
said I should
imagine?
not move to the next room to pick up my glove. That I should touch the sample, pick up his child sample. I
What
understood
is
that the
in the
man was
sample?
agreeing.
Hi.
I understood that he was aggrieved that the child is about to die or something. I don't get. But I told him, sir, please, it's either you drop it by yourself or let me wear glove and pick it from your hand. He said no. Do you know that I never knew this man knew our CMD? Finally, he let me go. I picked up my glove, picked the sample and dropped it. Then when he left, in fact, the person that's supposed to pick his sample was not even there. So I was actually helping out. Okay. So when he finally came, the next morning, I was supposed to be off for some hours. They called me from the hospital that I should start coming, that I have a case.
Wow.
When I got to my HOD's office, he was like, how dare you talk to a patient that you will not touch his sample? I said, sir, that's not what I said, though. The sample was soiled. It's you people that still taught us that before we touch a sample, we should make sure we wear gloves. I wanted to wear my glove. This man blocked the door, that I should not move, that I should just only, it's not just a sample. Him is holding it. I said, it's your child sample. That's how they said that patients are always right, too. That I should have just held the sample. I said, sir, are you
Wow.
not saying that we should hold bloody sample? He said, no, he's not saying that. It's just that now the man has gone to report to CMD. CMD is now looking at our department, like the laboratory department, microbiology. They have committed an offense. I said, CMD is a doctor. He knows this. He knows that you're not supposed to touch a soiled sample that contains blood all over the body. I can't touch that without a glove.
See, Vicky,
But
this
the matter, when they now knew that I was right, that was why they now died the matter. They knew that they could not take that matter anywhere and just win it. But if I said something bad, that's how maybe today would have just terminated my contract or anything with that hospital that moment. Nigerian system is fucked up.
But
Even
let
our
me
own
even
forces
see, let
cannot
me even
stand
see,
for us.
let me say something here. That's one big problem in Nigeria. Do you know who I am? Imakwanyembu, do you know who I am?
Thank you.
Exactly.
Do
That's
you
what
know who my godfather is?
that's what is clear. This thing you just explained, there was when I was in the bank, a customer came and saw a huge line because he felt he knows the bank empty. He didn't want to go in the line. We now sat him in front of our customer care. That is okay, sit here, sir. We're going to attend to you. The man was still expecting us to hurriedly attend to him and leave every other person in the line.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, the next thing he called the MD that I'm
You
in
see,
your GRA Ikeja branch and they are keeping me here. They don't want to attend to me.
so
And
bad.
the next day, head office stormed our branch. But you can never see that kind of a thing happen. They stormed our branch while we were keeping that particular customer, and they forgot that their system was faulty that yesterday. That we were working manually, getting balance manually, and crediting some customers' accounts without checking the real account balance. People don't know what goes on in Nigerian banking. When you see them having those long queues, their system, that the real-time online that will show you the exact amount you have in the bank, is not working. So by the time we tried to explain, they did not even listen.
Can you imagine? You just exposed something to us.
That's the thing. That's the truth. See, when it start happening like that, what they are using is the balance of yesterday.
Jesus,
Because
no wonder sometimes you will queue and queue. You be wondering, what are these people doing?
Yeah, every day they run balance, you understand? So we'll now have the balance of yesterday. So assuming
nothing is working in this country.
You walked into the bank at 2 p.m. and you have done a lot of bank transactions. You've issued checks, done a lot of things. Then by the time you're coming to my own desk at 2 p.m., my system is down. I can't be able to verify what you did before 2 p.m. because I'm still working with the balance of yesterday. And then you'll be shouting at me at the bank, screaming, right? If I happen to pay you with that balance of yesterday, fine, I will pay, right? Because that's what they do. They just keep paying and then hoping that these IT people will hurriedly put the system back. Then if that lasted for the whole day, that means you guys have done more harm than good. You've satisfied the customer, right? But the accounts are all in red. By the time the system comes up and then tomorrow you start calling the customer that you withdrew so much money from your account, you need to, because of COT, because of this overdraft, the customer will start screaming at you. You're mad, you're this. Why didn't you check it yesterday? And the customer knew. So some customers, especially those business people, they got the gist. Once they start, that's when they write all their bad checks so that you can give them. Then come and drag the money with me. They will pay it, but they will take their time. So who I know and who you do you think that word, I hate it so much. The next thing they will call the MD because of what? Their crisis. You can't see that here. You can't. If you work in the bank, you work
Yeah,
like every other
I
person.
listened to one lady from UK. She said surprising things that is happening here is that they respect queue. There's nothing like you are an elderly person. This that she saw an elderly man that was standing at her back. She said, "Sir, go before me." The man said, "No, no, 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 it's your turn.
Yeah,
Go, go, go." But here in Nigeria, they'll just be like, "You don't have respect. You're not
I'm
supposed to
telling
do this
you,
when your elders is doing
elders
that.
are
Do you
standing.
know who I am?" Oh, oh God.
When look at what Vicky just said. That's a typical Nigerian situation.
They don't even know if her life is in danger.
I know
Imagine
they
that she
don't.
has got that sample now and maybe contact one disease or another. They just treat it as she passed on. Another
No,
person will
they will
replace
tell
her.
you your job comes with risk, and then maybe that's one of the risks that happen.
Imagine.
So it is really so hard to help the country because, and we are talking about entitlement the other day. Everybody in that country is having entitlement mentality. From Buhari to Tinubu. Tinubu has entitlement that I must be president, right?
By
Atiku
fire,
has
by force.
entitlement that I've run many years. I have to be president. Then the poor person in the village has entitlement that my cousin is overseas. You should be sending money. Then the
Thank you. They don't
entitlement.
even know if the person is in prison.
I tell you, they don't. That's the thing. To rescue the country is a long thing. We are Lock
But
Nation. Thank you for joining me.
even on this our white street, everybody's entitled. They are a big YouTuber. You
Hello.
ought to check me out.
Exactly.
Mary Queen, thank you for
Everywhere
joining
is
me.
messed up.
Sincerely. Yes, when I say everybody in Nigeria has entitlement mentality, people will like, what am I talking
Yeah.
about? That's the truth. We should recognize the truth when we see one. Look at
I'm
what happened.
telling you.
Look at Vicky's story. That's entitlement mentality. The one that happened in
Yes,
my
ma'am.
life 10 years ago is entitlement, and they haven't stopped. They haven't. And they are not even ready to stop. Tinubu will
At
tell you, I
all.
have done so much for Lagos State and APC, so it's now my turn to pray. Even if he's shaking, he cannot
Can
hold
you
it.
imagine?
He must be president. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me today. Success is staying except to be. Success, if you're campaigning for be take it to the street, too, not just on online. Tell your tell your community, let them go that day and vote, and then come online and speak your mind that you voted, so that
See, even it's not even easy to vote for the OB that you're talking about now. For you to get your voter's card, you would know what you passed through. A colleague of mine went out to go and get PVC. She said her number is number 180 something, if I'm not mistaken. The whole of that day, they only attended to 30 people.
ah
30 against
Can you
100, and
imagine?
they attended to 30 people. And
They
those
don't want
30
to
people
release
then they
that
have
thing
to
so that
sort.
people will not vote.
Yes, they have to sort their way out, like by paying. Some will go and pay 2K, 3,000, 4,000 for them to even do the temporary one. No, it's not even the original one. You still come back later for the original one. So all these vote for P2B, this is that. They will not give us PVC. They know. They know.
Hmm.
you know the thing, I don't think our people realize how much power they have,
See,
because their representatives kind of has bodyguards that barricade them from the people they're supposed to be serving. If they go to their
imagine.
constituency to hold them responsible, accountable, we need our PVC. This is what INEC is doing. And we haven't heard your voice in the news speaking against it. We would have been a better place. But they're not. Hey, see our princess. So,
She wants to be on live.
hi. Hi,
Say
Angel.
hi. Hi.
Hi. Hi. She's happy now. You're on TV. Hi, Vicky. If you want to get people excited, if you want to go live, plug your TV on YouTube so that she'll be seeing herself on YouTube. Say, hey,
She said she wants to be online.
you
She's
see?
disturbing me, busy kissing the phone.
Oh, thank you so much. Ziberi said exactly. They want people to.
All right, ma, let me go.
Okay, thank you so much for
Let me
joining
rush
me
and
today.
pick up some things from the market.
I really appreciate it.
I'll
Thank
catch up later from this part.
All right, thank you so much. I
All
really
right. Buy market
All
things.
right,
So go take care.
bye.
Abio. We unlock. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate. Thank you so much. We unlock said sometimes. Let me highlight them. Um, sometimes I wish I was really true African born in Ghana somewhere. I wish I was really truly African born in Ghana or somewhere. Yeah. Thank you so much, We Unlock. At least you're getting to know what is happening in motherland and all of that. It's also a good thing. You have an African community on your YouTube base, which is a good thing. You get to know from hear from us, know what our problems are, what is going on, in as much as you're not there. We appreciate that. Ziberi, I meant okay, Ziberi said I meant they don't want people to vote. But the thing is, people are struggling to get this PVC. I don't see those people in House of Reps and Senate. I don't see them on the news speaking against INEC, fighting for their constituency. They are not doing that. Because if you were overseas, they will tell you the people are the one going to, they're not even bothered about, okay, this is a constituency thing. They will now say, okay, they will call their senator. They will call their House of Representative member. What are you doing? Up till now, your constituency, they've not
Is
gotten
it
this.
not when they have their contacts?
Though
Is
they
it not
do.
when they're even in the country to know
They
what
do
is
have,
happening?
they have their contact, but they will be
They
speaking
are
with
they are
the
not even
person.
in the country to follow up, to know what is happening.
And
To
then
vote for
tomorrow
them,
they
they leave
will
us
vote
here
them
and run
back,
away.
right? They will vote them back in the
Yes,
next election.
that's the thing. Even the annoying part is that the card they called permanent voters card, they will tell you now that if you registered your own before 2012, you need to go back and validate it. That the card reader they have now will not be able to read your own story, blah blah blah. If you go there, they will delay you, waste your time the whole day. At the end of the day, you still will not get it done.
I
Now,
really
now in
wish
my office now, they say if you are going to do anything with voters card, you have to forfeit that day's salary. Because every day we are going out, we'll come back with one story and we did not get it all.
so that's what they want. Hey, are you serious? Because do you know here, if you want to vote and you're voting from the voting time is from up office hour, they will tell you if you can vote on Saturday so that you don't have to interrupt your work. But whereby you have your voting time, you just take that hour, go and vote and come back, because they will know within 30 minutes you're back, or within 1 hour at most. If you're driving to a further place to vote, you're back. But we have a very long way to go. Stella White, thank you for joining me, beautiful sister. Thank you for joining.
Hi. Hello, everyone in the chat. Hello, host. Beautiful host. I've been here. I've been listening to everything we've been saying, including from the guy Ekweremadu took to the UK,
Yeah.
and the legal perspective or sanctions that may eventually come up to the bank brouhaha. I was just smiling. you know, I just said, let me come up here and this is you guys. Happy Saturday from my end.
Yes, so thank you for joining us. And what do you have to say with okay, we've been talking about Ekweremadu, what the how the boy lied and all of that. What do you have to say? And now we moved it to we talked about why they can't get the hospitals working in Nigeria. That's why they fly their children overseas or themselves overseas. And then
Yeah.
Vicky now exposed our mind as well to hazard fee, or rather hazard bill. They pay
Allowance. Yeah.
allowance now 5,000,
Yeah, I heard her.
which
Yeah, I heard her.
nobody should even say it online. It's so shameful, if I'll put it that
It's
way.
so shameful, really. It's
It's so
so
shameful. It's not
shameful.
something with $8. $8. That's what it is, you know. And that because
I, I saw I saw when you calculated it.
I was like, I couldn't just believe it. Now we are talking about
Please,
PVC.
host, I have to go. My baby have turned my house upside down.
Thank you so much for joining me, Steve. I really appreciate your input today. Thank you. It's
All
really
right.
so sad. Aww, what is going on in
Oh,
the country?
sorry.
And now the
Okay,
PVC,
host. I'm hearing.
yeah, the PVC thing. There is no remedy in sight. The way it's going, it's been the same story. Nobody's saying anything. the government is not improving on how to, and they will tell me they don't have a means of employment. This is opportunity for them to employ graduates, employ the youths. They are everywhere
Yeah,
looking for job. If they have manpower, these things wouldn't be problem.
exactly. Anyways,
It's,
I'd like to start from. Hello.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to start from the Ekwere case, the saga. Well,
Okay.
I've not really been properly informed about what's going on. All I saw was that Ekweremadu and his wife was they were both arrested, and later on I saw the letter Ekweremadu wrote to the embassy. It surfaced on the internet, but deep down in my heart, I was like, huh, "Are you sure that this boy is not actually framing this up?" That was what I thought. I didn't say it to anyone. I remember some years ago in Lagos, I happened to join one public bus and I got talking with one guy. He was like, saying don't go selling kidney. Oh." I thought, look at like this. He was entering a public vehicle with me as a then. And I'm like, okay, so what did you do with the money? He said he built a house in the village. And I'm like, really? You built a house with your kidney money in the village. What happened to your business? Apparently, he was eventually talking me into that is very lucrative and that one can survive with one kidney. That I was just looking at the guy like this. So just like you said, Oyoyo, maybe that guy was called by some people. Immediately you enter UK, see how you go waka, see how you go waka, and most of those people advising him that must have advised him, they don't even have the legal perspective. If you do this, this is, the repercussion or something. So it's so sad. I don't really want to say so much about that because I'm not properly informed. I'm not a legal person. I've not lived in the UK to know how it works. But it's sad. If it's the guy that is framing this up, or there was an agreement, just like you said, and the guy is doing this. Well, I'm sorry. The person I'm actually feeling for right now is Ekwere daughter, the person who is sick. I pray that she finds healing. I pray that God heals her. All right, so we'll move to the health sector. It is so deplorable, my sister. The health sector is so deplorable. Hello? Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
You know,
Okay.
when you said that your boss experience, I have goosebumps all over the place. When I said here that boy, I saw the picture on social media. I said this boy is not 15. This boy is lying. He's lying.
Yeah.
I've not heard any other further thing from a Ekweremadu or the boy, but the boy has seen overseas. Won't go back. So by any means
Mm,
necessary, I want to stay here. And he forgot, or maybe anybody advising him, forgot to advise him that, look, if you go this route, there are consequences. So by the time they finish this
yes.
investigation, this boy will never, never, and then they're going to jail him for misleading the
Of
police.
course.
No, I just don't know. The desperation in making this money is so big. Imagine somebody sold his kidney to go and build
Mm,
a house that you don't live in every day in the village. And then not even thinking about how to make more
yeah.
income to sustain yourself, to take good care of your health. Ah,
Yeah. You
ah.
see, his picture surfaced online yesterday. That's his Facebook account. He don't change where he day. Say in the UK, London, And I was just looking at him. You could just see an opportunity. I was looking at the picture on his Facebook page that was shared. I was just seeing an opportunity. Someone that was just waiting to just and he doesn't even know that okay, so many people if eventually the news of how he's going about this comes up, and of course the UK government they would have also been going into all those paperwork. Even Ekweremadu has evidences of agreements and all that. He brings it up. He's not thinking of his future. He's not thinking the repercussions. It's so bad. Anyways, like I said, I don't want to talk too much about that because Now them sabi really. And for Ekweremadu, he was the deputy speaker of the Senate. It's so
Yeah.
bad that you see, it's so bad that our health sector is suffering. That is why you are falling into this kind of trap.
And
If you could believe in your
yeah,
own, yeah,
you're saying it's so bad. You know what? They don't even have shame. I mean, the government. Remember when Buhari's son was involved in
yes,
accident? When he was involved in accident, they just tried to restore, keep him alive and save him. The first treatment. The next thing, the boy was flown to Germany. President's son. Okay, so they don't care. They have visas. They
okay,
have visas for their family. They don't care whether you people
okay,
come back to build anything. It's so sad, and it's a good thing that this one is out in the public for them to realize if we had or built a good health system in Nigeria, I wouldn't have been in UK doing this. They would have done all of this back home.
mm-hmm,
We have manpower.
mm-hmm,
When I mean manpower, Nigerian
mm-hmm.
doctors here are excelling. Nigerian
Not
nurses
just
here
manpower, my
are
sister,
excelling.
very good manpower.
I'm telling you, serious manpower. But the thing is that we don't have the infrastructure.
Mhm.
So there is no way you can utilize it. You might have a hospital that is not fully equipped. You can't even conduct a reasonable surgery in that hospital because it's not equipped. Some of them will have empty oxygen tanks, and they call themselves hospitals. So Ekweremadu, this will be, will I say, a learning curve for him. I think he did 8 years or 4 years, I can't remember, as a deputy Senate president. Within those years, none of them thought about my state is Abia or my state is Imo, my state is Kano. Let me build at least one hospital during my time. Let me make sure if these people are taking it so seriously during my time as a senator or as a speaker or House of Assembly or whatever, let me build something, an infrastructure that will serve my constituency. Let them even take
Yeah,
it back to their places. But they don't do that. That's why he's into this mess. And he kept making headlines overseas. 3 years ago, he came for New Year Festival. They beat him up at blue and black in Germany. And the same thing, those people that beat you for is what you fell for. They beat you because you guys come overseas to do your medical checkup. They beat you because no infrastructure. And then the same thing is exposing you. It's so sad.
it's so sad though. It's so sad. It's so sad, really. It's so sad. But God will help us. God will help us. Honestly, that's why we are now talking of the PVC. We all need to go out and register. We all need to go out and register and pray and hope to God that our vote will actually count.
Correct.
Vote would actually count. Let's pray and hope to God. You see, the people think, or the Bible says that when the righteous ruleth, the people rejoices. So we are looking out for someone that is actually that has the heart of God. And the decision of someone who does not know God is worse than the worst decision of somebody who knows God. I don't know if I'm making sense.
CM.
The decision of somebody who does not have the fear of God, or the best decision of someone who doesn't have the fear of God, is worse than the worst decision of someone who has the fear of God. So somebody who has the fear of God would sometimes be thinking in between, oh no, conscience can come in, the word of God can prick him and all that. So let us pray honestly that God should touch. God is actually seeing our suffering. He knows our heart desires. It's just for us to work it out. Work out
Stella, CM. One thing is this: God has given us the wisdom, given us the mind and the power. It's left for us to apply them. I said here before, if the getting PVC is becoming a very difficult challenge for people to get it, how many of them have taken placards to their House of Rep, Speaker, senators, to their residents, placard, what are you doing for your constituency? How many of them are holding people accountable? Let's not forget the fact that this democracy we are talking, this whole process is what? Power to the people. So it's the people, not even the few that are in the Senate. The people, the crowd, the majority, they have this power. They don't know how to use it. So talking about let God do this, God has done everything he needs to do. What is left for man is to act. We saw how Ukraine went to war with Russia. He was a young president. He was ready to put his life out there to save his country. How many of us are patriotic? How many Nigerians?
Yeah.
I am a patriotic Nigerian. I've been standing on this queue. I went the first day. It did not work. I didn't get it. Okay, you know what? I want to organize in my WhatsApp group. If it's community WhatsApp group, the constituency where you register, let us gather together. We are not going to stand here. We are going to march to Aso Rock. We are going to march to our reps' homes. We want to demand for something. They should make it easy for us to get our PVC. I haven't seen that in the news. The only thing I saw was a million march for P2B. But the demand on your representative, I haven't seen in the news. God has done everything. We have the sound mind to make decision. That's what God said, give me the sound mind. That sound mind, we got it. What we don't have is patience or even tactics on how to get things done. If the government is not providing this, be creative. How do I force the government to do what they're supposed to do? That's where accountability comes in. You hold them responsible. You can form a group and you guys will start speaking. If your senator's name, like this Ike we are talking about, Senator Ike, what have you done for your constituency? We are not getting our PVC. Call them by their names. Success says something here. Abia State Governor was almost deleted during the COVID because he had a kidney problem. He couldn't travel overseas. All the airports were locked down. That one would think that would have given him the opportunity to start fixing hospitals in Abia State. If anybody can categorically tell us that after that his experience, he has built a kidney center in Abia State that can meet to international standard, let the person come with. Success just said it. Even in their own near death, once they survive it, they don't think about any other thing. You now start asking why. Why? Is it a cause for us to do something significant for our communities? Is it a cause? There is no cause. It's selfishness. We should call it the way it is, selfishness. Me,
yeah, but that's it. That's it.
Ziberi said, if they do it, what would they write in their manifesto in the next election? You see, they keep recycling the manifesto and we keep buying it. Sometimes I don't even want to believe there is an election. Okay, they just do those things and carry it out, but they already know who to give the votes. That's Rigi said, and I would like to join the chat. Okay, Mike, Regis, I don't know what Regis. I'm gonna get you in. Let's hear what you have to tell us.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. So I've been following the chat off and on, but one thing I would have to say, and you made a point about being in the States and in the West, and there are tons of Nigerian doctors and nurses. Hospitals along the East Coast are filled with Nigerian doctors and nurses. But how many of those people who have benefited from, whether it's primary school or secondary school in Nigeria, who got the opportunity to leave the country, study abroad, and work abroad, how many of them have pulled their resources together to open just a simple clinic? I'm sure there are probably a few that may not get any publicity, but we know Nigeria's government is corrupt. Most African countries are corrupt. We've seen through the Bush administration that the American government can even be corrupt. So we have to stop blaming our politicians because we know this is just the way things are. We have to take accountability for ourselves as well. There are some hospitals in New York where 30% of the doctors are Nigerian, and they drive, fancy cars, live in very nice homes. Few of them travel back home often, but then they will be the first to complain about how corrupt things are in their home country. So I think there comes a time when you, as a Nigerian, or you as an African person, you have to stop complaining about how corrupt the system is. Nigeria is only 60 years old. The United States is hundreds of years old.
Yeah,
The
correct.
United States went through the same learning curve that Nigeria is going through now, where you had politicians being assassinated, a lot of corruption, just all manners of corruption in the United States and in the West. So Nigeria is now going through that purge and through that learning curve. So while we know, historically, this is the way countries are built, get your passport. If you have your ECOWAS passport, travel back home to your home village or Lagos or wherever and do something. Because we could all sit in New York or Houston or wherever we are in the States or in the UK and just point fingers. Yes, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Let me say something here. We have a lot of I will say about US, okay, where I base. I don't know how it's happening in other countries. Here we have a lot of doctors that have gone back to put in their best. And guess what? They were frustrated. They left. Because the first thing they will tell you can't come here and take the Western way of doing things and impose it on us. We have our own way of doing things. I have a very close friend, family friend of mine. He got a job in Abuja, Abuja University. I don't know what it's called. So when he got there, he saw what they done. That was years ago. They were still allotting plots. That's the university plot. They were allotting some plot to themselves. He said, no, that's supposed to be for the university. And then what happened? They now say, look, you can't come from the state and tell us how we do things. He tried to correct them to have checks and balances. It did not work. They frustrated him out and he left. And when he left, he came home crying to his wife. I can't believe I can't believe I cannot chip in. I can't believe I cannot do this. So when you try to make those kind of taking it back home and all of that, and you get frustrated, and sometimes your own life is at stake,
okay.
you have to
Yeah,
make a wise.
I totally get that. I totally get
People
that.
didn't have this again now.
I have 2 points to make.
But this lady bandit.
Yes, we understand that you'll be frustrated, but there's a growing community. There's some feedback.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So there's a growing community of Asians, Indians, Chinese people in Nigeria. Okay. And there's actually, I just watched a documentary on the community of Indians living in Lagos. And some of them are ninth generation. So their parents have been there since the early 1900s. And when you hear their experiences in Lagos, the amount of frustration that they have to go through, because they're subject to all of the plagues and all the trials and tribulations that every Nigerian is subject to, with no lights, infrastructure not being, properly there, just not being there. They have suffered through it, and they are not Nigerian. And most of them don't speak the local language. So how is someone because one gentleman, he just moved from India 6 years ago, and he's already established a factory. Obviously, they work within each other. They help each other out. And he went through the same trials and tribulations that many Nigerians face, and many Nigerians coming from the West may face, because he has the capital, but now he has to try to fit into this system that is resistant to anyone coming from the outside, especially someone who does not speak the local language. So if they are able to withstand all of the resistance and all of the corruption and all of the trials and tribulations, a Nigerian from the States or the UK is better adept and better equipped to navigate the corrupt system that we
Okay,
we
let me answer you here.
But one final point. The other thing is, because I moved from the States and I moved to West Africa, a country in West Africa. I'd rather keep that to myself for now. And I met, those of us that were born in the States or may have done our university in the States, and we come back here with a savior mentality. And this savior mentality is, at least I went to school in the States, so I should be able to do this better than you can, or I am better equipped to handle this than you can. So obviously that arrogance that we sometimes carry from the States into Africa will cause resistance, will cause friction. So we have to also understand that, yes, because this person might have gone to the University of Ife, have never left, maybe just went to Lagos Business School, he didn't go to Harvard or she didn't go to Harvard, that does not mean that they are not capable of handling the system and fixing the system. So we have to also check ourselves when we get off the plane and see the plight of the nation. We have to say, okay, you know what? Yes, I might have some answers to some of the questions. I might have some of the solutions to some of the problems, but I don't have all of the solutions and all of the answers. I still need to come here. Yet I might be Yoruba, I might be Igbo, but I still need to open my ears, listen, and kind of fit in and figure out what's going on. You can't just come and say, oh, because I'm from the States, you have to listen to me. I know what this is, and I know you're gonna have issues.
Definitely. I understand where you're going. I had that experience as well when I was in law school in Nigeria. We had some Nigerians that schooled overseas. They came to do law school. For you to practice in Nigeria, you have to still come back and do law school. So one of the students that was my classmate, she found it very difficult adjusting because any slightest thing she does, the next thing is that, oh, you think because you're coming from UK, that's why you're giving us attitude. So we know all of that, okay? And then to your first question, if Indians, the next generation, Pakistan, if they can do business and survive in Nigeria, why do we complain? Let me tell you one thing. A Nigerian in the US is a skilled person that is walking into either government, hospital, or whatever, okay? And when you want to make that change to public sector in Nigeria, it's not an easy road for you to climb. It's not. It is a million times better if you're going to set up your personal business. All you need to battle is with the CAC, which is the company registration company, and battle with the fees and the local fees, and you get your business tweeted. But if you're trying to make impact in the public sector, it becomes a problem. Bureaucracy is there, and those that want to influence your decision are there, and those that want to frustrate your decision are there. So it's easier to do business in Nigeria than to affect change in a public sector. We should not overlook that in any means. I've seen a doctor that left Chicago, went back to Nigeria to head a hospital in Nigeria. He got there, they gave him a place to stay, at temporary stay for him. He now started making changes in the public sector, in the hospital, making changes. Less than 3 months he came, he was killed by poisoning. Why is he making that change? Why are you here to tell us that we've been fools? And those things came from the colleagues. So we should be able to understand one thing, setting a business and thriving. We have young people that set businesses in Nigeria, and we still have young Nigerians that are not willing to leave Nigeria, the shores of the country, for any other country, being it US, being it UK. They are not interested. They want to do their business in Nigeria. They want to make their money in Nigeria because it's easier to make money in Nigeria than to make money elsewhere in the world. We have such people, but when it comes to private transaction, it's entirely different from public transaction, because private is you, your business, your partners, and what have you. You only have one hurdle to face. Once you pay your taxes, you do the registration, you figure out how to deal with the locals, you're good to go. But when it comes to making impact in what we are crying for, the infrastructures, the public sectors, it becomes a huge problem that not just you or group of people that you think, okay, group of us coming to build something. Let me also give you an example. There is a doctor, one hospital in Anambra State. The guy was here in the US and then teamed up with people, they built a hospital. It's private, it's easier to do. You can get those done easily because it's a private hospital. But you cannot transform a public hospital without the red tape, without the federal government, without the state government. So it's not something that is, if it was that easy, I tell you, a lot of people would have made changes. What our folks here are doing every year, I know of a woman, she's done that for over 20 years. Every year, she takes her colleagues, doctors, nurses, they travel to Africa, not just Nigeria, but they go to Nigeria practically every year. They travel to give what? Free Medicare. free. You come there, they will check your eye, they will check your blood temperature, do everything, BP. They give them equipment to monitor their BPs and all of that. That's the least they can do because they know fully well they cannot change the government. So what we are asking for is for our young folks and anybody in Nigeria hearing my voice today, get your PVC. We know getting to what America is enjoying is a long journey. I've said it in my previous live streams. When Nigerians are crying, I say, fine, you cry to get this, but you will not try to like read a little bit of American history to know what you're crying for. It did not take them a day to get to where they are. We have the likes of Rosa Parks, those that made change to American democracy, American civil living, civil rights. We have those things. So it's a gradual process and they will get there someday. But for the meantime, they should be able to provide infrastructure. They should be able to vote the right person to power. Getting their PVC is what we are talking about. Get your PVC. Let your voice be heard. It's a thing of pride to vote in the US. I voted. Have you? But back home, back in Nigeria, most people say, my vote doesn't count. Most people say, why am I going to vote when they are going to rig the election in the first place? So that's the mentality we are trying to like get people to understand. Do your part. When you do your part, they will now know what is going to happen. They have three serious people that are contesting for the post of presidency, and they have track records. So people already know what is good. But would that right person be there? We can't guarantee. Even if
I hear what you're saying. I don't mean to cut you off, but that as far as public sector and private sector, when I mentioned the Nigerians in the diaspora to come back home, I wasn't saying that they should try to join and affect change in the public sector. It's exactly what you said your friend had done in Anambra State, where forget about the public sector, let's pull our resources together and build a private hospital. Many of the hospitals most of the best hospitals in New York are not public hospitals. They are private hospitals. Mount Sinai, Lenox Hill, and some of the other ones. Columbia Presbyterian, I believe, is also a private institution. So you don't need to depend on the public sector if you have your own resources for everything. There will be things that you will need the government to work and to invest in. But you can do this, and it doesn't have to be on a grand scale like what they have in Accra. Because even the hospital that was newly built in Accra, when the new administration came in, there was a lot of friction with the new administration not wanting to continue the development of that hospital. So it looks glamorous from pictures and videos, but there was a lot of politicking around that new hospital that was built by the previous administration. So we can't look at it as Nigerians and say, oh, well, look, Ghana is able to do it and the Nigerians are not, because there's the same tribalism that is affecting Nigeria is affecting Ghana as well. And that hospital is a symbol of it. As far as just investing in the private sector, look at what happened in New York when Amazon said that they wanted to look for a city to host their headquarters. What happened? Every mayor of every major city in New York, in the states, was at their feet. Yeah. So, from the private sector, you can affect change in the public sector, because if Dangote said,
but Mike, let me come in here. It's easier when you have the infrastructures working for you. I'm gonna give you an example of what happened to myself. I was a banker in Nigeria before I moved to the States. And then one of my customers, he deals on iron rod, the one you use to erect buildings and all of that.
Yeah.
At some point, he will come to the bank crying. I say, what? He tell us that he's been running his company from the day he started it on generators. That how much is he gonna bear? So the costs of running any significant business in Nigeria is not here. It's something that when you look at it, you find out that you're not making profit. Because for a hospital, for example, to work, you need electricity. You can't guarantee 24 hours electricity in Nigeria. You don't. That hospital I talked about was built in the man's village. He took it to the village, which is a good thing. To the neighboring communities in that village is going to serve them. But we should also realize that those village people can't afford to pay their hospital bills. So the man is not even meeting up with his costs of running the hospital. He will still has to pay the doctors, the nurses, the janitors, but he can't afford to run by himself. So in one way or the other, the bad governance and the government is still hurting the private sectors. If you build in the city, for example, Lagos, you'll be able to get at least reasonable income from what you're doing that will service that particular hospital, that will pay the doctors, foot the diesel bill. But if you take that kind of infrastructure to the village, where there are the villagers, they can afford much. So you're going to bear the cost of their medical care, and at the same time, the cost of running the hospital and equipping the hospital. So in any form or way we look at it, I might sit here and talk for all I care. We still need people to vote the right person in government. We
I
still
agree.
need that. By getting their PVC, getting the voter, because the thing is that we have this kind of lackadaisical attitude when it comes to politics. And it's just from few tribes in Nigeria, because the other tribe, they've already gotten it right. What will I even vote? I will go there and waste a whole day. They can't give me my form. So why do I have to? So that mentality is what we are calling on, that people should take away, wash that mentality away, and realize that your vote is your power. And get the right. We have candidate. Election is coming in Nigeria next year. And from the candidate they've already filed, you know who is going to take that country to the next level. And you already know who is going to pocket the public funds to their private banks. But the right person will still not get the seat. So what we are talking is very fundamental. We know corruption, every other country, even the West, even the US, they went through that and all of that. But we are asking for accountability, the young folks, to start holding their representative accountable, holding their House of Representatives accountable, their senators accountable. You call them on the phone. You heard one of my speakers here talked about, do they even have the phone numbers of their representatives? Most of them don't. It's not like here, if I have a problem, I'm going to take my phone and call my senator and say, Emmy, this is what I'm going through, and I live in so place. I'm under your constituency. What are you going to do for my state? It's not the same. The representatives that are meant to serve the people, they've barricaded themselves with what? Securities. So they can't be able to get through them. So it's a huge problem. And I know, like you said, it's not a day's journey. We know. I've said it here in the past, but the thing is that the human mind, we want quick actions. We want to arrive to where it took a country over 200 years to get to. We want to arrive that in 60 years.
And again, I don't want to, but you are 100% right. 100% right. We need the infrastructure. But I'll give you an example. I have a friend that lives in Kirikiri in Lagos. She just finished her national service, so she went back to live with her sister while she starts looking for a job. And we're now in the rainy season, so it rains just about every day. She lives in an estate somewhere in there, and the landlords, well, every tenant of every apartment in that neighborhood contributes to the estate fee. And the estate fee is supposed to be used for the development of the roads in the estate. The estate manager has been collecting this estate fee for many years, and still the roads are impassable. So now some people just decided not even to go to work because it's been so bad in the last couple of days. So here's an instance, and I've seen this in other West African countries that I've visited, where the roads are just so horrible that you just decide not to venture down the roads. So if you're fortunate enough to live on a street where the roads are good, great. But if you have to go visit someone or maybe even go to work where the roads are bad, you start debating whether or not you should do it. Okay, we know that the government is supposed to make sure that all of our roads are paved, all of our roads and infrastructure is constructed and maintained. But if you live on a street, okay, and you own a house or you are a resident of a house on a street, and your road, and you see that the government is not investing in your road, but yet you have a nice car that you want to keep for as long as you can keep, okay? Shouldn't you, as a community resident, work with your fellow residents of that community and pave your own street? At least some, you may not need 3 inches of tar. You may not be able to afford 3 inches of tar, but if it's just bitumen, like just basic leveling and of the road, just do that. But many places that I've seen in Accra and in Lagos, I mean, it's like driving on the moon.
Okay, you know the reason why they can't do that easily? You have to get the permit from the government to tithe, and most times you don't get it because it seems as their responsibility, so they won't give you that permit. I remember growing up those days, there was this community in my state. They have rich men. They wanted to when you build, so they wanted to pave the road up to the next, to bigger, to a higher, maybe a highway. They couldn't. They pleaded with the government at the time that they don't just want from their own entrance to be tarred, they want to tar the rest of it. The government said no. You don't have right to do that. So they might have, made an effort to do that, but they can't get that permit to do it. And you can't just wake up and tie a road without government approving it. So everything boils down to the red tape, to bureaucracy, everything.
I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that. So I've heard an instance where the local government did not want the residents to pave the road because then the local government could not ask the state government for the funds needed for the road. So it sort of cuts into someone's pocket, because if the local government says, hey, we have 3 roads that need to be paved, please give us the funds for it. And then from that, they get to award the contract to friends and family, and then they siphon some of the money off. I get it. But you live in a corrupt system. You know the system is corrupt. If a Nigerian wants a passport, or if you need a certificate from NAFDAC, or if you need any government document, Nigerians know how to do things under the table and get things done. So I refuse to believe that it's an issue of the local government or whatever government agency is responsible will not issue you the permit to pave the road. If they really wanted to get the road done, it would get done. And this leads to my point of the corruption that we face in Africa and West Africa, and maybe Nigeria in particular, is a cultural thing. We have a culture of corruption. We have a culture where we see someone who has stolen millions of dollars and we celebrate them.
Okay, let me correct that impression. It's not a cultural thing. Why would I say that? Our forefathers lived and they assisted each other. They come together as a community and do their own individual community development and all of that. And none of those were obtained through corruption. They had the principle at the time, even when they cite you or notice that you have tendencies of being corrupt, they will bring you before the whole community, parade you as someone who is bad. You understand? And some of them, depend on the level of whatever the person did, can be ostracized. Okay? So that is the culture of our people. We believe in our community. We believe in ourselves. Everything about corruption, let me be very, very honest here, is a borrowed culture. Is learned from the masters. Okay? Why will I say from the masters? If you think about Western development that came to Nigeria and how they were able to take all the resources to better their country, and then I don't even want to go there because it's going to make this life a very long one and it's going to be a confrontation.
No, and I get what you're saying, but when I say culturally, I'm not saying historically.
No, it's not cultural. No, we shouldn't get it there. Let me finish. Some people learned this thing. Let me give you a very solid example. We had drilling in the rivers side of Nigeria where they bring out the oil that is being shipped overseas or whatever. Do you know, since they started drilling in the likes of River State, Bayelsa, I don't know how many of the states that they did all of the oil exploration, they have not had cleaning. When I mean to clean the ocean, to clean the places. But when US had a spill, the spill came, I think it was 2011 or 2012, the oil spill in the Gulf came. they had what? Cleaning, to the point that the dogs that were by the riverside, the animals in the ocean were clean. That was how the Dawn cleaning detergent up till today still use those animals in their logo. That was when I was a graduate student in the US. That was when the oil spill came. I did a paper with another professor. You can Google it online about the cleaning. When I was writing that paper, I was crying because the paper was completely 50 years of spillage. At the time, Nigeria was 50 years. 50 years of oil spillage in Nigeria, and they have not been cleaning. Who were doing the oil spillage? Tell me, the Western world. So let's call it what it is.
And I agree with you. I agree with
not you. Ethnic. Corruption is not cultural. Our forefathers, you can't even come and lie in their midst and go scot-free. The soil that we step on was a weapon in the sense, once you leave that soil up and speak in our dialect and say, whoever that did this, that this soil will fight. That was the much trust they have on what they do.
And I respect that. And
but a lot of these things, they've all been what?
I agree with you that it's a learned behavior, but guess what? Whether you like it or not, it's our culture now. What our forefathers did and my grandparents did, and then during my mother's time, because I remember my father and mother speaking so highly about Nigeria and growing up in Nigeria and how great things were. But past the 80s, the culture has changed. Whether they learned it from the States, whether they learned it from the UK, whether they learned it from the Asians, this is the culture that we have now. To the point where you have known corrupt individuals, not even politicians, but just regular entertainers or influencers online. You know that these guys are corrupt. You know that these guys are dealing in fraudulent activity, and no one says anything. And it's not unique to Nigerians, because we have the same thing in America, where people like John Gotti was celebrated. Everyone likes the bad guys. So it's not something unique to Nigeria, and it's not a culture that only Nigeria participates in. It's sort of a global thing now. But in particular of Nigeria, because we're speaking about it, yes, this has become our culture. And until we address that issue, no matter who we push into office and who inherits an office, they're coming out of the same culture that's creating this sense of individualism, selfishness. Someone would see something wrong with the system. Like you said, the hospitals are broken, but they don't care because they can afford to fly to another country to get their medical treatment. They see the schools have been on strike for months, but I don't care because I can get a visa.
My kids are not there. My kids are not there. Just use that.
So that's the culture. That is the culture, and it's a selfish culture. Okay, because if you see something happening in the north, think about it. In Owo State, they just murdered 40 people in the church, right?
Yeah.
And people were so upset, and we were crying. It was horrific. Oh my God, how could they do this? But that happens every day in the north. And how many people from the south lament? How many of them cry out that this thing needs to stop? So the culture of it's not happening within my tribe, it's not happening within my state, it's happening somewhere else, then I don't care. When you have that selfish culture, yeah, the chickens are going to come home to roost. And I don't know how Nigerians thought that the issue of terrorism and the insurgency was just going to stay in the imaginary borders of the North and it won't affect anything in the South. It's crazy. So again, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it may be a learned culture. We might have learned it from our masters and the colonizers and those that enslaved us. But whoever taught it to us, it's become our culture. And that's something that we need to address.
It is indeed the thing we need to address. But the thing is here, we are still going back to getting their PVCs, making sure their votes count, making sure they come out to vote. Absolutely. Like I said, they have 3 viable contestants, you understand? But they already know their record. They know what's the history behind those people. But I tell you, the one that people expect to lead, at least take Nigeria out from what it is might not get that seat. So what we are trying to say is this: at least let's do our part by educating our folks that you need to come out and vote. You need to put in your words. In as much as those things are happening, borrowed culture, corruption, and all of that, if we go back to our villages, we still have somewhat decency. We still have somewhat those culture thing we learned, we grew up. Those things are still working. Your brother will still be able to speak up when they see evil happening. We still have those things in the rural areas. They are still there. And then coming to talk about the our thing happened and it became a national news because the West has the media. Whether we like it or not, the West in Nigeria, they have the media. So they can throw it out there and it will catch fire. The North, they don't have the media. Okay. So if things are happening in the North and it takes them 3 days to bring it to the media, people will not get to hear. Those days in the past, it used to be one network that will bring maybe stale news of 7 days ago. It will be, you'll be hearing it, but internet has changed some things. So people should start being accountable for things. When you see something happening, if you can video it, shoot it out on the internet, somebody will pick it up. I understand what you're talking about. We scream when it happened in Owo, but when it happens every day in the North, and nobody's talking about it. If they don't make it a case, nobody will talk about it. That's just the situation. Then again, this same thing is happening in the East, in the eastern part of the country, but they don't make headways. They make headways differently. So it depends on who is running what, who has the ability to shoot out information online. Everything we know is going to take a gradual process. Eventually we'll get there. A lot of people need to make sacrifice for things to change. And a lot of our folks here, they try to do their best. But we cannot ignore the fact that you run your hospital on diesel. You run your hospital on gas. You have to pay for it. It's a private hospital. You're trying to bring healthcare to your community, to those that cannot afford to pay. And at the same time, you go bankrupt providing that healthcare. I don't know how I can marry the two, but that's the reality on the ground. Most of those people have good intent. They start up hospital. They don't even charge the regular fee that's supposed to be charged because those communities cannot afford it. It gets to a point when your own pocket cannot be able to fund what
Yeah, but I think anyone venturing into starting a hospital, which is a very noble thing, and it's something that we should all celebrate and encourage. If you're getting it, a hospital where you're going to be caring for people's lives, it's a matter of business management. So I wouldn't advise anyone, if you think you have a few $1,000,000 that you've saved up over the years working abroad, I wouldn't advise you just to throw it into a building like a hospital without having the proper planning. Hospitals are not run by doctors. Hospitals are run by business people. So if you are not, you might be a well-schooled doctor, but that doesn't mean you know how to run a business. And a hospital, whether you like it or not, is a business. So you need business people part of your team. So if anyone is thinking of just throwing money and building a hospital because it's a noble thing to do and they want to help out, I wouldn't suggest you just rush into something like that. It takes proper planning. And there are people and resources out there to help you with that. So the fact that
you just said it is run by business people. And when a business person is doing something, you expect to have profit from that. If I
not necessarily, no,
have,
you can run a hospital as a nonprofit.
Non-profit, I know, but they still have to charge a reasonable amount to maintain.
Well, yes, but then you can survive for some extent. Again, the proper planning will tell you how to run the business. So, but you need.
Have you thought about health insurance? That none of those things are existing.
And what I'm saying, I've worked for hospitals for many years, and I'm telling you that a lot of hospitals have a donor system. Okay,
I know.
The city or the government will, let's say, donate 30% of the revenue of the capex needed. But then you'll have maybe another 30% from private donors. So you have to think about all of these things if you're going to venture into something like a hospital. Are you going to do it for profit, or are you going to do it just as a way to give back? And if you're going to do it as a way to give back, then you have to think about, okay, how do we sustain this? So maybe instead of servicing 1,000 clients a month for 10 years, maybe we can service just 100 clients a month and extend our life cycle for maybe 20 or 30 years. So you just have to think about those things and make it, so there's a way of doing it, but we can't just say, okay, I have this money, I've studied and I've worked in Texas for 20 years and I want to come back and do something, and then after 2 years I run out of money and look, no one has helped me. Oh my God, they just sat there and watched me. No, you have to sit there and you have to plan and you have to do it properly.
What you just said reminded me of what happened to somebody we know from my state. He worked in 3M for many years and he was one of their best engineers. And then he went back home. One of the solutions he made for 3M is still running. So he went back home to Nigeria to build a factory, started producing soap and all of that. He would still come back here, go, and then put the mistake he made was he put in his relatives to manage the business.
Right.
After 3 years, not a single thing they couldn't do. The business, in fact, went down after 3 years. What happened? Where did you supply to? The supplier hasn't paid. So people blamed him for not doing all the business angle correctly, because you can't just run a business and put your nephew there or put your uncle there. No, it doesn't survive. So if you want to run a business, you have to do it right. So a lot of people, they've tried in the past to take what they got from the West, back home, but most of them did not turn out to be successful.
Yeah, because a lot of times they want to stay in the comfort of New York, New Jersey, Texas, Maryland, and think that by a phone call they can manage a business over a phone call. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work that way. But this man in particular, you understand, he tried to stay there for a while. He did. When the business now got grounded, what they did, because the government of that particular state saw what he can do, you understand? So they now say, why not come and teach this in the university? You get what I'm saying? So he went back to impacting knowledge, but his business was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, that happens. That happens. Even in the West, 80% of businesses fail within the first 2 years. So it's still a probability thing. If you have everything in order, things can still go wrong. So, absolutely. But again, I just think that we as Nigerians or we as Africans have to really invest in our own community. And it doesn't, it starts with the household. So you have 200 million people, but just take care of your household and the households around you, and then we can start affecting change. You're not going to just come into a city of 20 million people and think that within 2 years, things are going to turn around. It's going to take 20, 30 years for Lagos to be where it needs to be. But it's not going to happen if we just say, okay, the government needs to do it. The government needs to do it. The government needs to do it. No, it's really
the government need to provide the infrastructure for anything to work.
I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. But there are private bridges.
Do you know what I used to say? If only they can even provide security and electricity, let them even forget the roads. You understand? The citizens will come up with the road and how to do it.
Exactly. There's no 911 system. If you're
okay, let's assume there is one. Do you know the traffic in Lagos?
Right.
Do you know the mentality of people? They will even give way for the ambulance to pass.
Right. And I have issues. With the government of Nigeria. Trust me, the whole banning of the Okada, I thought was one of the most stupid things that I've ever heard government do. Many Nigerians were happy, but those that live in areas of Lagos where the roads are so bad that cars cannot pass. Mm-hmm. It was the bikes, the Okadas, only means of getting to a safe place where they can catch a bus. So it was a lifeblood for many people. And just to blanketly, ignorantly just ban Okadas and it was just very foolish. But again, that's where the community comes in and says, no. Yes, we know that criminals use the bikes to get away, but the bikes are also delivering food.
Mike, you can say that because I don't think you really understand the depth of how things work back home. If you don't put force, nobody will listen. If you tell them there is this law, this regulation, abide by it, they will not listen. So what that governor did for Lagos State was the only way to get the message across. I know maybe in the near future they are going to collapse this, but right now that was the only message that those people will understand. If you just say, okay, we don't want you to apply by 6 p.m., they're not going to listen. And they don't have the manpower to start chasing them from every street, every junction, and every angle. So the strict rule is what it works in that.
Yeah, but that wasn't a rule. That was just outright banning it. So what I'm saying is
eventually they are going to collapse it. But for the time being, they need to get that quietness, that assurance to the people of the community.
And in the meantime, people are having to trek in water.
Yeah, people are suffering. I don't know if they ban it on every location or every.
There are some areas in Lagos where you can still get it,
uh-huh.
but you're still going to have to add another 20 to 30 minutes on top of an already long commute. So it was not planned. This is again going back to planning. If they planned it properly and said, okay, we are going to phase out the bikes in areas where we feel that they're a nuisance. But
do you know they've done that before?
Well, they didn't properly implement it.
They did that before. They tried to phasing them out. They tried phasing them out gradually. I don't think it worked.
But there was no alternative.
I don't want
to no alternative
on that. I don't have the facts to speak more on what they did regarding that. So that's why I will not comment, because I don't know what they did. In the first phase, they tried to ban it and how it happened. All I saw in the news was outright ban. And they have their reasons for doing that I cannot speak more of. I want to take a comment that my sister, someone left for me here. The beautiful, okay, that one. He said, in fact, there is no system in Nigeria, and that's given. Another thing she wrote here, she said, I think it only works on streets and not in highways. Okay, about the Okada thing, maybe it works in the rural city of Lagos, maybe not in Lekki anymore. I don't know the reason behind why the governor or the government of Lagos State took that decision. But like I said, every change has to come with a price. And maybe that's the price that the community has to pay for that security they are looking for. But the thing is that we should call what it is. Nigeria is in a verge and they need to do the right thing. At least another election is coming to be able to get to where they want to be. That's what I'm talking about today.
Hopefully, we pray.
Yeah, we pray. I know it's you boy down to pray. My hope that just left now, Stella was talking about praying that things work. I say, well, God has given us every ability that we need. Is it the sound mind? We have that. We should make the right decision. We should encourage the folks to get their voters card. It's as simple as that, but the government is not making it simple. Okay, get voters card. I remember when here you can just walk into the elementary school that is designated for that. Walk in 10 minutes or thereabout, you're out. Even voting, sometimes if you vote on time in the US, is that easy. But to get the voters card in Nigeria might take you 1 week, and you keep losing in income, because one of my hosts said that the boss said that you guys been going out to get this card for days now. You've not been able to get it. So now, no, if you leave office to go and queue and get it, that means the salary for that day will be forfeited. So you can imagine how it's going to rub back on people. And that is going to definitely discourage them from going to stand outside to get their the voters card. So my take is, what is the government doing? Is the speakers, what is the representative, what are they doing? They can be able to tell the government, employ more youth. Nigeria produces graduates every year without employment. And this is an avenue to get them employed. And we are not seeing it happen. Okay, they should get them out there to register these people, capture their fingerprints and what it is that is required. Let the queue be less. Let it be even if it's a one-day transaction, the people are happy to do it one day and that is it. Not that you have to go there 7 days before you get your card, or you have to bribe somebody to make sure you get your card. That mentality has to change.
Well, I think you live in the West, right? You
Yeah.
live in the States, right? Okay. And during the last election, you saw the controversy around um, the
The
issues of
voting. Yeah. Yeah.
the voting. So again, this is an advanced, developed, well matured system, yet it's still plagued with problems. And in some cases, it was seen that it might have been intentional. Some of the hoops and hurdles that they placed in front of people just to get registered to vote. So a country like Nigeria, that's rife with corruption and all sorts of horrible things. I'm not surprised that it's a challenge for people to get voters cards because it doesn't benefit the status quo. It doesn't benefit those in power to make sure that everyone has the ability to vote. I think there was only 20 million registered voters or 40 million registered voters out of a population of 200 million. So again, if ever if the youth of Nigeria were all registered, those that are eligible, 18 and over, I'm not sure of the age.
Yeah, 18 and over.
Right. Then things would hopefully start changing.
That's the call we're trying to make.
Intentional. It's very intentional that you stand on the line for. I have a friend that she's been trying to get her card 2 or 3 days, and she just gave up because the lines were so long. So yeah, it's happening, but it's good that people are now bringing awareness to it, so that way it's not easy for them to get away with, But while that's happening, and while we're trying to affect change with the government, there are other things that young Nigerians need to be doing.
Mike, one of my live stream I did here, I talked about reorientation, okay? And why I talk about, people were like, what am I talking about? I say reorientation is not just for adults. It should start from age 4, when you're getting into kindergarten, to teach patriotism, okay? Let it be a semi-course or a semi-subject or something, patriotism, how to be a patriotic Nigerian. Yeah. Because one thing I've learned about US, hey, that patriotism, you can't take it away from them. You get what I'm saying?
Well, it doesn't. I went to elementary school. I was born in the States, and they don't do it anymore, and it got politicized. But every morning we would have to say the national anthem and say a pledge. So from kindergarten, I remember from even pre-kindergarten, before the class starts at 8:30, everyone would have to stand up, put their hand over their heart, and say the Pledge of Allegiance and sing the national anthem. And we did that up until high school, and that was around the 90s. And then after the 90s, it became an issue of politics where they didn't want this sort of nationalistic feeling pervading. So there's a whole generation of kids now who don't know that we used to have to say the Pledge of Allegiance, because you don't have to do that now, I don't believe. So that
you don't do that now, but at some point, I think in 3rd grade, they will start teaching it in social studies, okay? And then you continue to learn it from social studies. In one word or the other, you get to know it. In one word, they start teaching you how to render service, do volunteer as young as 4. My daughter was okay. We are raising money for Heart Foundation. Oh my goodness, jump rope. Jump rope is Heart Foundation. You understand? At age 2, at 2nd grade, they will come home. They are raising money for jump rope. You understand? You now ask, what is the reason behind what you're doing? They will be able to explain that if we raise money, they're going to get the money to those that need heart and those that need any treatment relating to heart, to the Heart Foundation. So when you start telling a child of 4, 5, 6, all those things, they will understand it's not just about me, but what can I give to the society? What can I give back to my community? Right. So that's what I'm saying. If they can,
they have the national service. They have national.
No, forget national service. Right. The mind is already formed at that age. You can make more change at that time, but change starts when the mind is still forming. National service. Why do I say forget that? When you call a young graduate from Nigeria and ask what he thinks about if you get to public service, what will you do? The first answer they will give you, I want to cut from my national cake. Okay. That's why I said forget the youth service. What they now do in youth service, they are teaching them skill acquisition. Because they know there is no employment waiting for them outside. The government is not creating employment. Then private businesses that try to create employment, lack of infrastructure and security would like make them close shop. So they don't have a lot of employment opportunity back in Nigeria. So what they are doing now in youth service is to teach them skills, how to make your hair, how to make makeup, how to make cake, how to do this, how to do that. So that's what they are now teaching in youth service. Most of them don't even get to understand the whole basis or the whole foundation of youth service. No. If they can start at early age to reorient our people, to tell them, look, you have to give your part to the government, to the society, to your community. You understand? You have to serve. Be ready when you're called to serve, to serve. You understand? Giving your best. You have to volunteer. You have to share that little you have with somebody who do not have. If that thing is being said over and over again, our kids will grow up knowing, having that responsibility that life is not just about me and myself, my stomach, my bank account. Life goes beyond that. And that will help change the mentality of people on how to perceive public service, because now public service is a lucrative job, especially when it has to do with politics, House of Assembly, House of Senate. Can you believe that Nigerian House of Senate, forget the fact that dollar is bad now, Naira has crashed, as in 1 naira to a dollar. At the time Obama was the president, if you compare the salary Obama was receiving as the president of the US, is lower than what a House of Assembly person is receiving in Nigeria. So that's the starting point. You now get to ask, how can a nation with that kind of bogus salary for the Speaker, the House, the Senate, how can they cater for their constituency? How can they? If
And that's quite unfortunate.
It is.
The salary disparity. But let's also look at the churches and the role that the churches and the mosques should play in community development, because many of the churches and I'm only speaking as a Christian, because I'm sure the mosques are also having their own issues. But let's speak from a Christian perspective. All of the churches that have the ability to affect change, have the ability to create hospitals, schools, and they all have schools, but they're overpriced. Hospitals and all sorts of scholarships that they could be doing and investing in the community. How many churches are taking an active role in community development, real community development, not just building a very expensive university?
If you really ask me, that would be a topic for discussion for another day. We can fix a time we are going to talk about that, so I can broadcast the network for people to join us. But what I would tell you here is that if I look at it in terms of what Christianity stands for, they have failed God, those churches. Why do I say that? I'm not here to judge, but I'm just speaking my opinion. Why do I say that? You build a church, a school that your members cannot afford for their children. You understand? You might give scholarship for 10 people in a year, and you have a membership of maybe 100,000 people. You get what I'm saying? So in that angle, I don't want to look at it as charity. I know they're strictly doing business with the schools. You can't even afford it. If you're just an average person in Nigeria, forget about going to those schools. Send your child to public school. Okay, because the church is not helping. And one thing about helping I'm talking about is not giving them 50,000 today, you broadcast it. If you want to help, teach me how to fish so that I can fish for myself and my family. And don't give me the fish to eat. That's the development we are talking about.
Yeah.
Hi, Ruth. Thank you for joining. Thank you. I've been speaking with Mike here, and I believe Mike is in Ghana currently. So we've been talking about a lot of things. Nigeria. We started with the senator that took a man, because they said the guy is 21, took a guy to UK for kidney transplant, and then we went about if our hospitals in Nigeria were working, that wouldn't have happened in the first place. They would have done the whole process and procedure in Nigeria. We talked about the fail system. We talk about corruption. We talk about people getting their PVC to know who to vote for and all of that. And Mike has been very, very helpful in our discussion today. So thank you so much, Mike. I need to take a quick break. Okay, just give me 1 second. So sorry, guys. So sorry. When my attention was needed, that was why I left. Sorry about that. And that's what we've been talking about, Ruth. Thank you for joining me. And I will be rounding up. This is the longest I've been on a stream, 3 hours. So, Mike, before I round up, what advice will you give to any Nigerian in Lagos or in any part of Nigeria that is listening to us? What advice will you give them on playing their own part, just like you said before?
Well, it's not just the Nigerians in Lagos or Port Harcourt or wherever they may be. It's Nigerians, period. If you're a Nigerian in India, Nigerian in Bangladesh or the US or UK, everyone has to play their part. For Nigerians in Nigeria or Lagos, you know, a lot of people, when this whole thing of the senator, I heard people complaining about, wow, this is going to mess up everyone's chances of getting a visa to the UK. And I'm thinking like, wow, is that all you're thinking about, just leaving? You're not thinking about a child that might have been kidnapped and abused. So yes, it would be great to get a visa and study abroad or live abroad. But what's the sense of being in someone else's country when your own country is suffering? So someone like me, I was born in the States, but I came back, lived and worked, started businesses, and try to invest as much as I can. And I think that's what we all should do, no matter where you are. So if you're in Lagos or you're in Ibadan or somewhere in Nigeria, I'm not telling you not to leave and pursue your dreams and better your family's life and your life, but do something. Become a community activist. We all talk about Obama and how great he was as a president, but he started as a community activist.
Correct.
And it doesn't cost money to be a community activist. And we also, as I said earlier, about the culture and the culture of just turning a blind eye when we see someone doing something wrong and celebrating the bad guy. We have to really change that because many of our women, I've traveled all over Africa and I've traveled around the world. And one thing that I've seen, which is very, very embarrassing as a Nigerian, is in every country that I've visited, there are Nigerian women selling themselves. And they didn't get there. Um, Most of them, or some of them, did not get there on their own. So, as a Nigerian, we have to see someone doing something wrong and speak up about it, say something about it. You know, so if you know that there's a woman in your community recruiting girls, claiming that they're going to get a job in Dubai, claiming that they're going to get a job in Saudi or whatever, and you know the stories that are happening, and the people and the way that they abuse Black women in some of these countries, you should do something to stop that. Um, so we have to be more vigilant as Nigerians, no matter where we are, because it's our reputation that's on the line. I have two passports, and I only use my Nigerian passport when I'm coming into an ECOWAS country. I don't use my Nigerian passport for any other country. Why? Because it's almost embarrassing to say that you're Nigerian in many places.
Yeah.
And I've gotten into many arguments and many fights because people don't assume that I'm Nigerian. They assume that I'm American. And the way they talk about us is very, very embarrassing. And it wasn't like that in the 80s. I remember in the 80s, if you saw Nigerians in the streets of New York or New Jersey or wherever, you stopped and say, hey, where are you from? Where are your parents from? Now, everyone minds their business. Why? Because we are all embarrassed sometimes, and we're all afraid to be duped, to be robbed, to be associated with certain people. And so when you talk about pride and this patriotic, why would you want to be patriotic to a country that has a bad reputation? You know, Ghana is surviving right now because Ghana's brand is very popular around the world. You know, so when Americans think of coming to Africa, they used to think of South Africa and Egypt. Now they think of Ghana. No one thinks about going to Nigeria as an American, you know, because you hear the horror stories. So we have to change the brand of Nigeria. We have to do something to really change the brand of Nigeria. And it's a great thing that our music now is accepted and respected the world over. So maybe we could use that as a vehicle or one of the vehicles to help change our brand as Nigerians. But I can tell you, you go anywhere in West Africa outside of Nigeria, Nigerians are not welcomed. They're not respected. You can go to Uganda, you can go to Kenya, you can go to South Africa. Nigerians are not respected. And, you know, it's only going to affect us in the long run.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mike. You've said it all and you did analyze it well. I can't stop by saying that reorientation is key, and I can't stop by saying that we can start getting it done from age 4. We don't have to wait on until someone is 20, 21, 23 to 25 to go for youth service to get that orientation. No, we have to teach our history. I don't know how much of the history that is being taught now. We have to teach our history. We have to teach our ways to our children at a very early age, and also teach patriotism, and also teach how to volunteer. Those volunteer thing, I learned it when I came to the States, and I make sure my kids, you know, put in their time to help others is very important. Having said that, Nigeria is a growing nation. If I'll use the word nation, it's just 60 years old. It took America, and America is still reforming. They've not stopped. They've not said, yes, we've attained here, we'll stop. No, they are still making changes every day. It took them hundreds of years to get to where they are. And things have not really, really completely changed. They are still making change. The likes of George Floyd that passed 2 years ago, I think 3 years ago, has brought a lot of change in the US, and they're still making changes. So what I'm saying is that there is always a starting point. And if we start now by getting our PVC, it's going to be a good one. So starting point, get your PVC, make sure you go through it's frustrating for them to get the PVC, but people should not give up. Just know that they don't want you to get that PVC, and that's the reason why you should get it. If you get your PVC and vote the right candidate, that will at least start change, because the country is so hardened that nobody wants to hear anything unless if you put force. Okay, so let that PVC be gotten. Let the youth secure their PVC and vote the right candidate. I'm not here to tell you exactly who to vote, but you already know in your mind, if you still have conscience or if you want to save the soul of the country, Nigeria, this is the time to start. Get your PVC. Vote the right candidate. If you want that good healthcare system to happen, do it now. Get your PVC. If you want the roads to at least to be looked into, get your PVC. So we can't overemphasize that because we already know where the problems are. We already know the names they call Nigerians when they go any other place apart from Nigeria. But that does not mean that the whole 200 people in Nigeria are bad. It means that the rotten egg has spoiled the name and we need a rebrand. Just like Mark said, we need to do what? Rebrand the country. And this is the time. Get your PVC. Davido was in New York a few weeks ago talking about his music, that he came with all Nigerian fabrics. Everything he's going to wear on stage is Nigeria, made in Nigeria. He brought Nigerian food. He brought Nigerian dancers. Everybody dancing for him, they're all Nigerians. He's doing his part. And we don't have to wait until we are Davido to do our part. We can start by what? When you drink a sachet water bottle, you don't throw it on the road. When you eat a banana, you're in a bus, you don't fling it through the window. By keeping the street clean. Mike talked about community activists. That is how it starts. You can start a champion. Oh, my street is dirty today. You start picking those litters on the road. The next thing, somebody will come up and join you. Another person, you form a group on how to keep your environment clean. So let's do our part. Some people will say, no, let's pray. No, it's not all about prayer. Do your part, then pray. Because even the Bible said that faith without work is what is dead. So when we do our part, then you pray. God will answer the prayers. So get out there, get your PVC. Despite the frustration, make sure you get your PVC and vote your conscience to save Nigerian soul. That's how we are going to say it. We have seen Ekweremu's story. It's still developing. The boy himself is not a small boy. He's still 21. If the boy is 21, he's an adult. So he's using the opportunity that he has gotten to UK to stay, not minding what, if it's going to cost UK government for, playing false allegation against someone. So we are still on that story. We will still look into it in the future.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, but they have the fact that he's 21 now. So it's no longer allegedly. It's a fact. Okay. They brought his there's something somebody said here that they've provided that, which is registration. I don't know if I can still see that comment. So that alone said he was born October somewhere. Was it 2000 or 2002? Okay. So they verified the fact that he's not a child. At least that's a good thing for me to know that he's not a child. So the rest of the investigation is ongoing and is still very, very young, so we can't be able to say much. Okay, they said the boy's BVN is out now, that he was born 12th October 2000. So he's an adult. Okay, that one is verified. And based on that, we'll say that they're now going to continue the investigation until the UK will give their final, the concluding part on the investigation. But for the meantime, let's do our part, get into community development, make sure we don't litter the streets. At least that's the least we can do. If you commute on a bus, if you eat something in the bus, put them in the paper and discard them in the bin when you get down from the bus. That's the little we can do. And also get our PVC, okay? We can't overemphasize that. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. Mike, thank you so much. I do this every Saturday, so please, I hope this will not be your last time. I hope I will see.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, I'll send you. I don't know if you have an email address. I'll send you an email address, and then we can.
Okay. Yeah, there should be an email in my site, in my YouTube channel about page. Okay. There should be an email there. So
I'll send you an email, and then we'll talk.
That would
Thank you
be
so much for
fine.
having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Zberry. Thank you so much. You are amazing. From the beginning to the end, you're still here. Thank you, all my participants. Anne Rose, thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Be Yourself, Bell Fitness, Banningos, We Unlock Nation. Oh my goodness. Mary Queen, Success, and Ike. I'm going to check you guys out right now. I just love your contribution. Thank you so much. Thank you all. I hope you guys are keeping safe and being, and being good. And also, don't forget, this message should not stop here. In your WhatsApp group, in your WhatsApp status, ask the question: if you're Nigerian, have you got your PVC? Vote your conscience. Let's save the soul of the nation. Those should be the song that people should be singing in Nigeria if they want to change. I want to thank all of you once again for listening to me today. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the support, for your contribution, for the comments. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Priska. Thank you, Ella. And if I didn't call your name, I'm sorry about that. Thank you all that came today. Stay well and be well. Thank you, guys.